guys. Man, I've been seeing you guys way too often in the last 2 weeks.
It's been a great 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We should just do Thursdays all the time. You guys ain't got nothing better to do.
Been dealing with that traffic.
Okay.
I think I'll pass.
Okay, fine.
I enjoy your company and all, but
Fine. I thought we just had a good thing going. Why ruin it?
you ever use that? Has a female ever said that to you?
No, I say it to her.
I thought we had a good thing going.
I say it to her when I know that things are kind of on the rocks
near the end.
You know, I thought we had a good thing going.
That's like the last lifeline.
Yeah, man. The worst thing that could happen to you is, and I feel like I've experienced this, is like when you got the access to it, and then one day you just lose the access, and you lose it out of nowhere. It's like why didn't I get a notice? Like I would have made sure the last time I got access, it would have been worth it. And it's like, damn, you just kind of want that access one more time, you know? So that's why that's how I feel. That's why I always got to hit her with that line. Just let her know, you know? You're like, yo.
I don't know what kind of mood you're in or what happened to you during the day, but
it's one of those days, man. I experienced a lot today. That's why. Whenever I experience something, I'm always in the best moods. And I feel like that's where we're going today. Dan's upset. We know why.
Poor guy.
I don't care.
Talk about a shit week.
Oh, it was a fucking horrendous week.
You want to know what makes me upset?
You can edit it out later if you want.
No. We're not editing shit. You want to know what makes me mad? Is that I knew this was going to happen. Maybe not the European fixture. I expected a bit better. But I knew this was gonna happen.
What my 0 for 3 week?
Yeah, you were definitely in line for one. You've been winning too much in Italy. You have to get your ass beat.
That's fair.
You feel good?
I got a lot to say.
You got a lot to say? That's great. I like when you have a lot to say. Fabs is chilling.
Yeah,
Fabs is chilling.
I'll let you guys yell at each other this episode.
I'm not yelling at no one. I got no one to yell at. Why does everyone think I always got to yell at someone?
Heated debate.
I really...
Listen, the last time we had a Champions League discussion, it was heated.
Oh, that's because you guys are losers. Hey, man.
We'll see in 2 weeks.
We'll see in 2 weeks. The funny thing about I'll say this for every week until that game goes down, is I never said Dortmund was gonna win.
I hate you for sitting on the fence. Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yo, call me what you want, man.
It's methodical.
I always tell people, I was like, yo, I'm not paid, or I will never be paid to make predictions. That's why I don't gamble. I'm not like I don't care who wins or loses. I'm gonna give you the most educated, chilled answer that you could get. One that, you know, that comes from the bottom of my heart.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
Wow.
Fabs, have you ever been with your female and you see another guy looking at her and you just grab onto her tightly?
Wow.
I don't think there's like a specific moment. But I feel like I might do something like that.
Okay. I've experienced that today, so I just want to ask you.
I've done it in the past. I'm not ashamed to say it.
What's wrong with you guys? Yo, the only time
sometimes I even go as far as to make eye contact with that guy.
Okay, that's cool. I always make
eye. Yeah, I feel like that's probably what I've done.
Yeah.
Maybe not the whole grab onto. Listen, my philosophy is if you can take her from me, you can have her. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I'm not doing something right if that's the case.
I've been in both situations. I always look at the guy in the eye, whether it be mine or not mine.
And then you instantly imagine how you would hit him with a right cross.
but I don't care about him. It's the female that you got to worry about.
Yeah, okay.
You can't be looking at him like that if he's looking at her like that.
Have you ever got caught checking out another female when you're with your female?
100%. 100%. I have.
Men are stupid. We do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I have.
I think we all have.
I don't care.
And she called you out?
Yes.
and your excuse in that moment?
I didn't have an excuse.
Those were nice jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy you a pair, so I had to see how they look on somebody else.
Oh yeah. That's definitely not what I said. I just took the L. Sometimes you gotta take the L. I feel like a lot of guys don't want to do that.
Like Big Sean?
No, he's a loser. You don't make
maybe that's what he was talking about.
No, you don't make a L. You don't make a song about taking the L and then say that you bounce back, because no one's gonna believe that you bounce back if you have to go to those lengths to prove to us that you did. We're trash because it's been 2 weeks since like Valentine's Day, and there was a Galentine's Day, and I never knew what it was, and now I'm not gonna ask you guys what it is because I know what it is,
That's news to me.
and I just didn't know
I don't even know what it is.
where girls go out and embrace love and everything together.
Oh.
More single girls do it, but some girls that are taking tag along with the single girls. It's called Galentine's Day.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of it. Now that you said it.
Yo,
like that.
I can only laugh at that.
Females are trash, man.
Is Valentine's Day on like the Friendsgiving and Friendsmas? Is that like that whole part of that wave?
No, but I think it's the same day as Valentine's Day.
Some girls do it on the 13th. I saw it on my Instagram feed a lot too. I was like, you guys are. Then I saw it on CP24. I was like, you guys are losers. Because I was thinking, I was like, do guys have that? Valentine's Day.
No. If any of my friends ask me to attend Valentine's Day, that friendship is terminated.
Yo, Fabs, you want to come chill?
No.
Why? It's Valentine's Day.
What are we gonna do? Talk about our feelings? Like
talk about the one that got away.
You do that. You do that in the comfort of your own room, alone, with nobody else around. Okay. I don't need to support you through that. That's not. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, man. We're not gonna talk about it now, but I just forgot that I didn't bring it up to you guys, and I'm very upset about that.
Next year on February 13th, we'll make sure
you guys gotta remind me
to
to shout that shit out.
Yeah.
There's something else that I also learned today, but I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Actually, I know what it is, but I'll chill. I'll chill. You guys good, man?
Yes, sir.
I know you guys have been listening to all these other soccer podcasts / footy podcasts, so I know you feel like we probably need to, get into the shits earlier. So we have a lot to talk about today. So I feel like if you guys really want to go down that route, we can. But I'm in a mood.
Me too.
I'm in so much of a mood.
I see you got the hoodie on.
Yeah.
He's got a fresh haircut from the fade room.
Yo, don't give Claudio. You want to plug the world?
Yeah, he gives all the wrong people.
You gotta understand. Until they plug us, we cannot plug them.
I thought it's your boy. Doesn't he plug us?
I don't know.
Oh well.
He kind of does because he gives me nice haircuts, so I look good on camera.
So but
besides that, I don't know if we can plug him.
Okay.
And I've known him for years.
Dan could never do live radio. He would be the worst at live radio.
He's plugging the radio show that's beefing with us. Yeah. Yo, shout out to those guys, even though they just said we ain't shit.
Oh, we had a great run, one episode before Dan ruined it all.
Nah, I'm in one of those moods, man. I'm in so much of a mood that I'm taking over the soundboard. I'm taking over the soundboard today. I'm taking over.
That means you want more gunshots?
I do want more gunshots. I want more gunshots. It's not a game, man. It's the best soccer / footy podcast in the world. And I wholeheartedly mean that. And I listen to a lot of shit. A lot of shit. I'm not gonna rant, guys. You guys can relax. I feel like you guys are gonna get all silent. It's like, oh, here we go. What happened this week?
That's why I picked up my phone because I thought we were going on a rant.
No, a lot of shit did happen this week.
Oh, okay.
But those guys are Those guys are losers. I know you guys saw it. You didn't see Zach?
Who? Oh, that little debate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, he's a loser. He's not getting time.
I'll keep it there.
He's friends with Aaron West. Oh, another loser. Yeah. I'm kidding. Oh, these new age soccer analysts or new age soccer figures, like public figures on Twitter. If you have a public figure on your Instagram handle, then we can't be friends.
That with the blue check mark?
No, they're underneath their Instagram name, it says public figure.
Oh.
Like where ours says podcast, I think. Or media, theirs says public figure. What the hell's a public figure?
Someone who figures they're public?
Shut up. You figure that.
I don't even know what that means, so I'm definitely the wrong guy to ask.
I really wanted to see if this. You see?
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I go onto Aaron West's Instagram page, and what does it say? Public figure. Yo, man.
But you have to actually put that.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
What do you mean no?
You don't have to be a public figure. Are you a public figure?
No, but you actually have to put that you're a public figure.
He means that you yourself have to edit it into your profile.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a loser.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
Anyways, yeah, they all I got to say about that is if you're going to engage in banter on Twitter or any social media thing, any social media platform, to me, if you lose or take the L, then you hit the unfollow. That's what Zach did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get to the point of the argument where you're like, shit.
Yeah.
You run out of options.
Yeah. So that's all I gotta say. We're gonna leave though. We're not plugging anything that they do ever again, and they're never coming up on here. And I don't want them when this shit hits where it's supposed to hit. I don't want them to come and try and be buddies with us. No. I want you to see you guys engaging with them on Twitter. There are rules.
I literally have nothing to say about this whole entire topic.
Anyhow, I'm off that shit. Next, you guys good, man?
I take a mall approach to these type of things.
You just chill out.
Yeah.
Dad just gets on his phone. It's like, oh, here we go. Tyrrell can't behave himself for one weekend. Has to get into some argument with someone.
We need to get you like maybe a manager or something.
I try very hard not to respond to a lot of shit, and I've been better over the past few years or year. But there's some shit where it's just like I don't approach the people that don't have like a small following account because I expect them to say the shit. Like one guy like called me daft, and you saw that?
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty funny. that was hilarious.
We enjoy most of these comments, to be honest.
I love it. But like when you have that platform, and I've said this a few weeks ago, when you have that platform and then you say stupid shit and people are gonna tag on to that, or you say things for the sake of sparking a reaction like Zach does, like you're a loser, man.
I have to admit that you write quite eloquently.
What do you mean?
You write like I've seen people write on Twitter and there's spelling mistakes, and I have no.
That's definitely me.
Oh,
okay. That guy.
Okay.
I type real fast and I don't look before I hit send, and then after I'm like, shit, I gotta delete that and redo it again. That's definitely me.
Oh, okay. But you actually, when I read your Twitter beef with anybody, I'm like, oh, you know what? You guys sound smart.
Yeah.
Not that you're not smart. I'm just saying.
No, but they're not.
No.
Dan, stop pumping his tires.
Yeah, because I may kill you at the end of this podcast.
Things are gonna look a lot different in an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm playing, guys. You guys good?
Yeah, we're good.
No Twitter beef?
No.
Everything's.
We leave that up to you.
Hey, man, I'm telling you. Yo, when shit gets real, man, I'm tagging you both in it.
I know.
I'm saying I didn't say that. You guys said it.
He's throwing us into the mix whether we like it or not.
Yeah. You think I'm gonna go out alone? Y'all are coming with me.
Like the Titanic.
Yeah. We all. No, I'm joking. I can hold my own, guys. But I just want to kind of address that quickly. But since everything's okay and you guys really don't have anything to say or really get into, you know what time it is? The mic's on.
Mic's on.
That soundboard better be the hell on.
It's definitely on.
Is the camera on?
Yep.
It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 60. It's your guy, Tyrrell. I know I got it right because 60 is a milestone. It's a milestone day, and we're here to get it popping live and direct from Toronto, Ontario. I'm here with two great guys that know a lot about this sport, and you guys should really listen to them because they're great. To the left of me is Fabs. To the right of me is Dan, and we just want to let you guys know, or at least I want to let you guys know, that this is the best soccer/footy podcast in the world. If you wanted organic, unfiltered soccer analysis from three real guys that are kicking it and sparking those conversations that need to be had, this is the place to do it. And before we even get into them, because I know where they've been this week, I know what they've been doing. They haven't been doing shit. And they're going to tell me that they didn't do shit. So before we get to them, I want to give a shout out first and foremost to YouTube subscribers because we got to get this out of the way first. I'm waiting too long to shout them out. Shout out to the YouTube subscribers. You guys have been great this week. We hit the milestone that we've been waiting to hit for a year. 1K. Shout out to us. You know what time it is. We're here. It's about to go down. Shout out to the YouTube subscribers. Shout out to those on Instagram and on Twitter. Twitter, folks, you guys keep me alive. Instagram, folks, we've been a bit quiet because this has been a grind, but we're going to be back real soon. So don't worry. You haven't missed anything. Well, you kind of have, but that means that you got to really listen to what we post or watch what we post and click those links. And shout out to those on Facebook for liking and following and liking. You guys keep doing what you're doing. I kind of repeated myself there twice, but you guys know what it is. For those that listen to us on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and any Android app that Fabs does recommend, he will we're going to have a segment where you recommend the podcast apps on your Android devices because you need to get to that. Shout out to you guys. And yeah, man, shout out to to everyone working hard, those working in the snow, unemployed, employed, single women, single men, independent women, independent men. Shout out to the homeless. Keep fighting the good fight. They're warriors. So we got to give a shout to them. Shout out to all the kids in school. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to all the old elderly ladies, man. I have to say that I love them. They're adorable.
They have the most wisdom.
They are the greatest human beings out there. Old females. I'm telling you guys, these old men lucky I'm not 50. They're lucky I'm not 50.
You're nuts.
I would lock down all of them
simultaneously.
They need some love. What I'm doing with these young 25 and up girls when
they got pensions.
These women, yeah. What do you got, Mom?
What are you gonna offer me?
What are you gonna offer me? You got a job? You want me to buy you a bag? They're gonna buy me a bag.
Yeah.
They have the bags.
Multiple.
Shout out to them, man. They keep doing what they're doing, always providing positive vibes and energy to our city and the world. So keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Fabs and his De Gea clan. Shout out to the Grizz gang. Shout out to all the Toronto Soccer Podcast. Shout out to the Rebrand boys. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to the Clip Draw gang. I don't know why we keep shouting them out.
It's almost over for them.
I don't know if I like them.
I don't think we've ever liked them.
But we just shout them out for the sake of it.
Yeah, it's okay. To let them know that we know that we're here.
All right. That's cool. And shout out to all those who have enjoyed Family Day. And shout out to those that are waiting for spring and summer to arrive. If you are one of those people, we appreciate you. Yep. No shout outs for those that love winter. Y'all are trash. With that being said, guys, how are you?
Fantastic. I thought you were going to shout out Mama and Papa Caps that we finally got to meet in the flesh last week.
Yes, shout out to those two. Can they adopt me?
There's 2 extra rooms open in the house.
Okay, a third and fourth?
Yeah. I want them to be my parents. Shout out to them. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you coming to the podcast. And next time I'm just going to get one of them to pull up to the mic.
Oh no,
that would have been brilliant.
Yeah,
no, that would not have been good.
I'm gonna start asking them questions. This could have been that podcast had been greater than it was. When I was driving home, I was like, damn, I really missed the ball.
We missed out on an opportunity.
Want to hear some stories about Serie A back in the day?
Oh yeah,
when I wasn't alive.
My father would have had a lot of stories.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
Yeah,
but shout out to them. Shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to everyone doing great things and spreading positivity in the world and keeping it real in 2019 because that's what it's all about. That's what we're here for. That's what the interviews prides itself in: organic, unfiltered soccer / footy analysis. You guys do anything big this weekend? Or this week?
Not in the 2 days that I've been gone. Nope.
No. You guys are just sitting home watching the Champions League,
rushing around trying to get games and stuff.
Okay,
all versions of it.
Oh, stop! So you guys, who cares? That's another. We're not plugging the co-ed team. We're not plugging the co-ed. You think I didn't catch that little plug?
No, I said all versions of it.
Oh, yeah.
He meant.
CONCACAF Champions League.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I plugged them. That's one plug that they could get.
Yeah.
You guys are good?
Yep.
Nothing, no gripes, no Twitter beef.
Oh, I got lots of gripes, but
I'm shocked that you didn't get into any Twitter beef with TFC Live.
I honestly, I just shut my phone off. It was better that way.
Get a little emotional now, do we?
Yeah.
Some of them did try to message me.
Really?
Yeah, man.
There was no leg to stand on.
There was. They tried. We're going to get to TFC in a bit. I'm not starting with them.
No.
I want to start with them if they won.
So even then, I don't think it would have been that grave a feat. To be honest with you.
No.
Yeah. So we'll lay on that. But that was I saw you guys on Monday. That's why it kind of trips me out because it's Thursday, and when people hear this, it's Friday. But let it be known, there's not much that we could really do in that time span.
No.
You know.
Very much so.
So it's understandable. So, did you guys enjoy the games? Quickly,
Dan,
did you enjoy the? Okay, well, I don't care about how you felt about the result. No, did you enjoy the games?
I thought Wednesday's games were much more entertaining than Tuesday's games.
Okay,
but Tuesday, from a tactical standpoint, people who like tactical games, they would have loved Tuesday's games because even though they were 0-0, both of them, they were quite entertaining.
Yeah,
there's a lot to take out of that.
I love 0-0s.
They're my
favorite.
I would have taken a 0-0.
Yeah, Oh, anyways, I don't care. I don't care about what you would have taken or didn't take, or think you could have taken.
No, there wasn't much to take.
It don't matter. Fabs, you good?
I'm excellent.
I was watching your squad. I was watching your other squad play today.
The other squad. Which one have I adopted? I feel like I've adopted so many teams.
The team in red.
I've adopted way too many teams throughout this process.
I'm playing. But that's good, man. I'm good. Nothing really happened in these past few weeks. There's been no NBA, so I've been kind of chilling, watching these games.
Zion.
Yeah.
Blew out of his shoe.
Yeah, that was nasty. Hope he's okay.
Yeah. And then it throws the whole world into an uproar about collegiate sports.
I didn't Can you explain that to me?
Well, because they don't get paid.
So
apparently the NCAA makes a lot of money.
They make
and
millions.
That angers people. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's I agree. I don't think they should be making millions off those kids. If you really take a deep dive into it, I'm not taking that deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I'm gonna say.
I think it goes hand in hand. That I like, maybe not to the extent that they have it now.
Yeah.
But they also give those kids the platform to flourish on. So there's got to be both parts. And right now, there's not two sides to the story. There's just
So do you think those guys should get paid?
They should see something. Because like, what about the kids that are playing on the team that are never going to make an NBA team?
So you're
never going to make an NBA contract.
You think they should see a monetary return?
If do you know what the ticket prices were to that game yesterday?
Yeah, that's because Obama was there.
No, that's because the kid was there.
There were $2,500 tickets.
They weren't there to see Obama.
He was looking sharp though in his jacket.
Yo, man, I'm not getting to him either. He was paused.
He's one of your boys.
I never ever said that.
Oh.
Don't get it twisted. I'm not gonna. We'll leave Obama where he is. Other dude didn't the other dude get arrested?
Oh yeah,
Empire guy,
Smollett or whatever his name is,
for faking the. Yeah, man.
I just don't understand how people think they can get away with stuff like that in this day and age.
Yeah, you can't fake.
Like your idiot boys are caught on camera buying the stuff. Like, come on, do better.
Do better, folks. Keep it real in 2019.
Because he was angry about his monetary gains in that show or something like that.
Yeah, he's a loser. He's a loser.
How about you work a little bit harder?
Yeah. How about you just be good? With that being said, you guys ain't really got nothing to talk about this week. It has been a short turnaround, so I'm not expecting much. And apparently the people they want the soccer. They want the footy.
Talk less.
And they want it now. They want me to talk less.
That was
that was the comment of probably the month.
I was gonna say 2019 so far.
That's number one. How about you just talk less? No, I kind of can't because I'm kind of explaining it. Unless you want me to leave out part of the game, then I will talk less. Anyhow, I don't really care. That was funny. But yeah, people are coming here for the soccer and the analysis. So this week and this week only,
we'll get right to it.
We'll get right to it.
We've already bullshitted for 25 minutes.
I don't know how. Where's the time go? We didn't say shit.
Exactly. That's my point.
We didn't say absolutely shit.
It's okay, Fabs. You can edit a lot of that.
No, we're keeping that. We're keeping all of it. I don't give a damn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leave it in there, Fab.
Yeah, leave it in there, Fabs. Anyhow, with that being said,
pause.
If yeah,
shit.
Fabs.
No,
that would involve me.
Both you guys? No, ew.
That don't involve me.
Yuck.
That don't. I'm why am I cheering that on? You guys are sick.
We're so stupid.
You guys are sick. Anyhow, with that being said, if you guys ain't got nothing to say and you want to get into the shits quickly, Fabs, you know what time it is. It's the InnerViews Podcast, episode number 60. Everyone wants to know what happened in the Champions League this week, why Chelsea got bounced out of the FA Cup, and if Dortmund can actually topple Bayern Munich. I feel like we need some I don't know.
One of those dum dum dum.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Like the Star Wars with the mad long build-up. I just think Law and Order one day is gonna come shut our podcast down for stealing their intro. But
hey man, shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to Ice-T. Keep doing what you're doing.
Did they take Law and Order off W Network?
They did for a bit. Then it came back. They came back, and then I found out that they're still running.
Like new episodes?
Yeah, man. They're actually it's on tonight.
Wow.
At 10.
Okay, we got to rush out of here then.
Y'all are killing me. No, I PVR'd it. I'm always here for my... I already forgot their names, but I'm always here for all of them. Anyhow, we gotta be serious now, man, because the soccer community is not happy that we're not... The soccer/footy community is not happy that we're not serious all the time.
Well,
and not providing you with the hard, stone cold facts. So,
Was that a wrestling shout out there?
no, it wasn't. The glass didn't break.
Oh.
With that being said, guys, it was a very entertaining week.
It was.
And I thought I knew where we were going to start. I really did think that I knew where we were going to start. But then yesterday happened.
and well,
Dan said it was the tie of the round when the draw was announced. So how could we not start with the tie of the round?
I don't think many people could really argue it. And now, especially based off the result.
So are you guys surprised by the results?
Maybe surprised by the fashion of the scoreline. Like I didn't expect Atletico Madrid to come out in that second half and virtually dominate the game. Like I'll say I was surprised by that, just based off also what Atletico has shown us throughout the year. It's two sides that in spurts have been good, but have also played terrible. And we've seen that on both sides. We've seen Atletico play probably their best half of the year, and we've seen Juventus play how they've kind of been trending in this direction recently. Am I surprised by the result? A little bit. I thought maybe a 1-0, especially after that first half, potentially a 0-0. But for Juventus to suffer 2 goals in that fashion, quick succession, I'm a little surprised by that, to be honest.
Are you surprised, Dan?
No. But only because I'm one of the few realistic Juventus fans out there.
They're going to kill you. They're going to teach you about being real. Continue.
No, we've said it day in, day out in this podcast that they haven't played well. And they've got away with not playing well against Frosinone, Spal. And you know what? The reality is that when they came up against a half-decent Atalanta team, they got pumped 3-0. And this is just that same type of performance against a good Atletico Madrid team. And if Szczesny doesn't make a couple very good saves, if VAR doesn't bail him out of Morata's goal, they could have been down more than 2. And then this tie could have been over. I don't think it's over right now. I can see Juventus pulling this back. The problem that I see is that I can see Atletico scoring at the Juventus stadium. And if they do score, then Juventus needs 4. And against that Atletico Madrid defense, I think it's going to be hard pressed to score 4. And I don't see where those goals are going to come from if it's anything indicative of that first leg. Because they tested All Black once. Maybe the Ronaldo free kick, and that's about it. And let's be fair, Bonucci's got to keep that header down in the first half. Other than that, they had no chances.
So since we want to be like all the other footy/soccer podcasts, took it upon myself to get some stats.
Oh, great.
You know the soccer/footy fans love the stats.
Statman Tyrrell.
So you can call me Statman Ty. This is Statman Ty.
Are you going to do that? The wave?
We're going to jump in. We're going to dive in.
That's a deep dive.
Oh. Take a deeper dive.
How many shots on goal did Juve have?
No, I didn't take that stat.
Oh, okay.
Well, you're 0 for 1.
Let me look at your stats. At least I can prep them.
One of the one things that I really found funny prior to the game was when they were doing the little Champions League anthem that Dan loves, and Grizz is just like looking at the ball float up and down. I was like, damn, my guy's locked in.
Either that or he's just absolutely lost.
Yeah, everyone's there standing and like just actually in game, like in the mood, and he's looking behind him watching that ball float. I was like, okay, Grizz.
Maybe they got to get that at the Wanda more often if that's the performance he's going to give us.
So under Diego Simeone, and this includes every cup competition, the Europa League, Champions League, and the Copa del Rey, when Atletico have won the first leg, and that has been 25 times, they have never not advanced to the next round. You just
jinxed them right there.
So
keep reading those stats.
I just want to say that. And then as the other thing, I actually don't got any hard hitting stats. The other one was just Ronaldo.
Well, I think the other stat that I came across is that the last 2 teams to not come out of a Champions League is Real Madrid.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't win those first 2 ties.
Yeah.
We've seen them in this position before. and we've seen it with them against good teams where they win that first leg at home. And if there's one team that you could probably count on to actually, especially the fact that it's 2 and not 1, to actually hold out and literally play and grind out that result and score a goal, it's them.
Yeah.
So I understand where Dan is coming from. I totally understand that. I feel one of the key things here, and what I took from when I looked at the starting lineup, was probably as Atletico as it gets, where we've criticized and chastised them this season for making all these big signings and trying to go one step further. They didn't do that here. Simeone went back to the basics. He went with the players that he trusted, and on the international stage, it usually backfires. But here, he put the players that actually are the identity of this Atletico side from 2013 onwards. Jimenez, Godin, you have Juan Fran and Felipe Luis. This season, we've seen a lot of Arias and Lucas Hernandez. Yeah. So he went back with those two. Koke was back, and Koke wasn't even really fit, but he gave you what he could give you for those 60 minutes, which kind of defines what he is. Costa gave you what he gave you. I'm not having that yellow card, by the way.
What was the yellow? What was? You know what?
Because he's encroached.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty damn harsh.
Yeah. But you know what? Sorry, I think that's a big loss in that second leg, because he played fantastically well. He wouldn't. An average guy watching that would have thought nothing of it, but he was a beast in the air. I've never seen someone outmatch Chiellini from a physical standpoint as Diego Costa did, and he was integral. He should have scored in that second half.
Oh, that's vintage Costa.
Yeah,
get yourself into a fantastic position and then miss 2 meters wide of the net.
Costa's 1 out of 3 in those situations.
But I think if there's anything that those Juventus fans can take heart of, is that he's not going to be there in that second leg. And somebody asked me if it was a foul on Chiellini. I want to say no, but the only way Morata scores this year is that he fouls Chiellini, just in his track record. So I'm going to go with that's a foul. That's the only way Morata scores.
That was a great goal, by the way.
That's 2 well-taken goals he's had in the last 3 games that have
taken away from him.
Ruled off.
Yeah.
But that was the nature of that side. Griezmann and Diego Costa, the midfield with Thomas, who was also suspended, I'm pretty sure, for the second leg.
Yes.
So Thomas, Rodri, Saul, and Koke just bunkering in and holding down that fort. And that's why I wasn't surprised that they got the result, but it's the 2 goals, because you didn't know where they were going to come from. And it's just even more Atleti that it was Jimenez and Godin to score in that fashion. And now it's kind of like, I'm not playing prediction here, but it's really kind of hard to go against them.
Well, especially a Diego Simeone team that has 2 goals to work with.
And that has the experience in this competition to see that out. And that's where it's kind of like, damn, this is gut check time, because we've always emphasized the significance of Juve needing to win the competition, and we said this even last week to a certain degree. But if they get bounced out of the round of 16,
that's catastrophic.
Yep. Max took some heavy heat in those papers.
He's 100%. He's gone if they get bounced in the round of 16.
I think he's gone regardless.
There's not a question in my mind.
I think he's gone regardless.
No,
I can't argue that really either.
No, if he wins the Champions League, he's not gone.
If he wins the Champions League, I think he'll walk on his own terms.
No, okay. So but if he wins the Champions League, and we said this before, he leaves on his terms. If he doesn't, he's gone.
Okay, that's kind of unfair.
Well, life's unfair.
It's the Holy Grail.
That's kind of unfair. What if he's just leaving on his own terms? What if he beats them to the bullet?
Well, good for him then.
Yeah, I hope he does.
That'd be smart on his hand.
I think there was some I'm surprised that he didn't play Cancelo in the back.
I'm not surprised. Can I be the only person on the planet who's not surprised?
Okay, tell me.
He's being what he knows to be, pragmatic. That's how he plays, though. Like, he's going away from home. He knows that Atletico are built to hit you on counters and transitions.
Right.
They still have players that can get up the field. Cancelo is not. I don't want to use the term liability because I don't put him in that stratosphere of liability. But he is a player who's going to get up the pitch and at times could lose his track and going the other way. So why he doesn't play him away from home in the first leg, where he's not looking to score goals, not looking for a result, I'm not that surprised. But was it the wrong move? Oh, it turned out to be the wrong move. But people are acting as if De Siglio hasn't played the bulk of the last two months.
No,
and played
well. I'm just saying that he's been one of your better players.
No, 100%
throughout the year.
He might be one of the 3 better players this season.
Right,
100%.
In an important game like that, I'm surprised he doesn't get the start. That's what I'm saying. He's been. I understand what you're saying, attacking and whatnot, but you gotta trust one of your top 3 players this season to be on the field in one of the most important games. And he's now the question is, when you go home, is he playing?
Of course.
Yeah, he's playing.
Because now you got to score.
He's playing.
And that leads me to the second.
Isn't Sandro suspended though?
Yeah.
So
so they're both playing.
So So De Siglio will probably play on the left.
The game changed when Pjanic went out. He and Emre Can didn't pick up that slack in that midfield. Those 2 goals come in once Pjanic leaves. And I read this in the Italian papers too, and they weren't very kind on him, and nor should they have been. Dybala was a ghost in that game. He touched the ball. I think if I read the stat correctly, when Bernardeschi came in, he had as many shots as Dybala had in his 80 minutes, which was 1.
Okay. Can I be the first to say that I really like Pjanic, but I don't think he's as good as he's made out to be on that side of the world.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, I just want to say that. And I like him.
That's why I never really understood the Man City Pjanic talk.
Yeah, I like him, and I've always liked him. But I don't think he's as good as made out to be. And I could agree with that point about Chan coming in, but the only reason why I'll kind of take away from it is because, I mean, the manner in which they conceded was on them as a whole.
I was gonna say, when is somebody gonna start pointing out the 2 center backs?
That too.
I know they're Italian, they're the face of the team and all that jazz,
but I think you point the blame more at Bonucci than Chiellini.
Well, to me they're a unit.
They so kind of work hand in hand. Well,
you're stepping to plays you shouldn't be, and Bonucci slipped, but wasn't it Chiellini's header that puts him in that position too?
Chiellini's header put him in the position.
The first goal.
Yeah.
No, was it the Griezmann breakaway that All Blacks saves? That's the one I'm thinking.
Chiellini put him in that position.
There was a couple missteps there from them as a defensive unit as a whole.
Well, we've seen these lapses, and that's why I love when we get the English punditry and they speak about them so highly, but you could tell that they haven't watched them this season because they've made mistakes throughout the entire season, and no one and their mama has said anything about it. It's kind of just been brushed under the rug. And it's like, when are we going to hold them accountable for their level of play? Not for the team's level of play, but for their level of play, because they're supposed to set a standard. And I'm not going to kill them because I know they're getting up there in age, but we still can't just not talk about it. You know what I'm saying? As to Dybala, and I've killed him on here. And you should. And it's nice to see people are kind of killing him. It's not nice, but it is what it is. It's come to a point where I know why they're putting him into the squad. I kind of think, even though they have dropped him, so it doesn't really make sense. But at what point do we get to when we really come out and say, look, the system just doesn't work for you, kid. And because that guy is there and we need to get the best out of that guy, it's either you adapt or replace someone else.
Do we think it's an Allegri thing or is it a him thing?
I think it's a system thing. I think
he's not being maximized.
No, I think that he can't play in that role with Ronaldo there. And I think that I don't want to say he's one-dimensional, but there's only a few roles that he can play. And based on the way that they have to line up with Ronaldo there, it just doesn't really work out.
Because he scored something like 20 plus goals last season, and he's on like 4 this year, 5.
Well, yeah. Well, last season he kind of had more freedom, and he was playing in behind Higuain for the most part, right?
Right.
So, and I always questioned. I was like, this guy's not a natural number 10. He's more of a goal scoring second striker.
Yeah.
But now he can't really play that role because those two are kind of clogging up the space for him, which is why it kind of makes sense to play a direct player like Berna or Douglas. I still don't think Berna's ready for those lights, but I feel like he's going to get his chance to prove whether he is ready for those lights in the second leg.
You know what? I don't think he is. I think Max is going to play that same starting 11.
But even when you play against Atletico, playing Dybala fits into their hands. Like that is a player that they want to play against.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there in the past and neutralized Messi. They know how to deal with that type of player to condense that space. It was just kind of weird that I'm watching them, and this is where it gets even deeper. Is that Dan pointed out the midfield. I put out the midfield. I've always put out the midfield, but Dan pointed out the midfield last week, and we saw it again this week. They don't have any controllers. Mm-hmm. And if you want to call Pjanic your controller, Pjanic isn't good enough to be your controller to win the Champions League. And I like him. But he's not good enough. He's not good enough to be your main controller. He could be a controller in that midfield, but he can't be your main one. I tell you right now, if you put Kroos and Modric in that midfield and swap them with the Bentancur and Matuidi,
yeah, that's
we could see something different there.
I think 100% you do.
We could and that was always my gripe here with this move and the level of I know Ronaldo comes with that level of expectation, but even though you put him there, the team just as a whole isn't ready. It's not. Because like I've always said, when you look at that Madrid squad, Ronaldo had countless creators in that squad. He had the midfield with Casemiro, who's also an excellent all-rounder. He had the fullbacks bombing forward. He had Benzema creating him space, and he does it better than Mandzukic. And that should not be as great as Mandzukic is, and as much of a big game goal scorer as he is. Benzema offers more to what Ronaldo needs than what Mandzukic does. And you guys can argue that if you want.
No, there's nothing to argue.
Well, I'm not going to argue it. You guys going to state your point. I got no energy for that right now. But it's just a different level. It's a totally different level. As good as this Juve side is, not performance-wise this season, the pieces, I just don't know if they're there. They're only there because there's no real elite side, which is why we put them on that pedestal. But I don't think those guys, like Matuidi now is not going to give you what you need in that midfield. Bentancur, we can make the case he's not ready yet. He's still very young. He still has plenty of football to play. I don't think he's ready for that light. Pjanic is Pjanic. I know what I'm getting from him. But then who else do you throw in there? Emre Can, we know he's not ready for that. Mm-hmm. Sami Khedira, God bless that he's okay, but he's not ready for that either.
No, that's why when I look at that bench, he's got nobody to come off that bench that's maybe Bernardeschi, but that's about it. That's gonna really be a game changer, and they've got to really hope that Costa is ready for that next leg, which he may or may not be. But right now, when I look at that bench, there's not a game changer. And when you ask me, can they turn it around? This is why I don't see them turning this around with that squad that we saw there.
Ronaldo was probably their best player on the pitch.
And I thought
do you want to make that case?
I think you can.
I thought Szczesny was.
Okay, best outfield player?
Okay.
Give a damn. Give a damn about Wojciech.
Well, he saved the game.
Yeah, he did. But I think he probably was their best attacking player. And what I mean, like best, like I feel like there's a gulf.
Yeah.
I feel like there was and that shouldn't be the case.
I think it was always going to be difficult because we all gave him such big expectations, the fact that they brought in Ronaldo. But bringing in Ronaldo, he commands so much of the game plan
Mhm.
that it's going to take a little bit of time for things to adjust. It's not like you signed a Douglas Costa who plays direct. He plays a certain way. Like you're talking about you bringing in Ronaldo. Every team he's ever played on, one way or another, has shifted to benefit him.
Right.
So now you're bringing in one piece that impacts the other 10.
Mhm.
You're not bringing in one piece that complements it or just adds to it. You're bringing in a piece that dominates so much of the game plan. We've seen it at Portugal. We've seen it at Real Madrid. Everywhere, he dominates so much of attention, so much of the play isn't always run through him, but one way or another, indirectly, it is.
Right.
He's also always had an ample amount of creators. And I look through the squad, they're there, but there's a little drop down in level. You're gonna miss Alexandro in the second leg. So your creators on that field, Cancelo, whatever you could get from the center backs, Pjanic, they're gonna shut Pjanic out of the game. So then who else? And that's my thing. I named you the creators that they had on that Real Madrid squad. The Madrid squad before that, you had your Ozils, you had your Di Marias, you had your Xavi Alonsos, you still had the fullbacks. You had that going for you. United, you know what you had there. Rooney, Tevez. You had the wide players pushing forward. You still had your Scholes, your Carricks,
Giggs.
You had those players working for you. And now we're here and against that Atleti squad. And I know it's tough to really say that because we've kind of bashed them throughout the season. And I don't want to give them that, oh, well, they're all in for the Champions League. But if there was ever a night to believe that now they may fixate their minds as they should be all in on the Champions League, this is the biggest motivator that they could have. Is that they're in this position where they could knock that side out. And all they need to do is give you a hard 90 minutes, which they are fully capable of. Because I'm pretty sure they believe that they're not going to win the league.
So then, let me ask this question. Would Juve turning this around be a bigger upset than Dortmund turning it around on Spurs?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't even think it'd be close, to be honest with you.
No, because you expect regardless of who Atleti are, you expect Juve to do that because they're at home and they are arguably the favorite to win the tournament, and not arguably as in the masses believe that they are.
So, I don't. The one thing I will say is, I don't think Atletico are as good and great as they showed throughout that second half.
Right.
And Juventus are as poor as they showed throughout that second half. That's what I like. I don't think the levels are going to be that much of a gulf in this second match.
Right.
I agree on the Atletico part.
Well, I
agree on the Atletico part.
No, but I don't think Juve can
the only
play.
reason I say this because Juventus are definitely capable of a much better game. There's no way Juventus come out in that second game and give us a stinker like that. If they do, then it's fully on them.
If they do, then Max could be gone earlier because I don't think they're.
Well, they're not sacking Max halfway through the season.
That would just not make sense if they're not getting the Champions League.
It won't matter at that point. He's going to see out the season,
win,
and then just leave.
That'd be very petty.
I just believe that Juventus aren't as much as I've been on the train and we've seen this progressing. Juventus aren't that bad. If they give another performance like that in the second half, I'll honestly be surprised.
But especially at home. Especially at home, I can't see them if they play 90 minutes like they did that second 45. I'll be like Fab. I'll be very shocked. Another 90 minutes like that.
But was this any better than their two games against Manchester United?
No, I'm not. In terms of performance, I'm agreeing 100%. And
this was not better than that.
This is how it's been trending.
Yeah, I didn't see any difference. They were lucky against United that one moment of brilliance.
But that's what they do have.
Yeah.
And at home in the second leg, well, we've seen it when they played Real Madrid last season. That second leg, that second game, how much better they were, and how once they got that tide rolling, ball rolling, it's like they probably didn't play that like that for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Like I feel like deep down they have that in them. It's just what unlocks it. I think he plays with 4 at the front, and he drops one of those midfielders. That's my hunch.
I'm gonna hit you with that on Dortmund too. He can't play 2 midfielders. They'll get overrun.
I think he's gonna have to one shape or form. He can't come out with that 11 again.
And the reason why I can't compare those two is because at the end of the day, as a lot of what happened yesterday was credit to Atletico.
Yeah.
A credit to them. And I don't think they really need Costa to see off the tie. I feel like the Thomas miss is kind of huge because I want to know who's going to be the extra body in midfield. I guess Saul, Rodri, Koke, and then
maybe he shoves Lamar out wide.
Lamar, Vitolo.
If he's willing to do that job.
Lamar, Vitolo, someone, right? But they're going to have to put someone into that role. But I think a lot of it's on Atleti. And I just think that Juve, like I said, the Ronaldo 1 goal in 6 games is quite a damn indictment on what's going on there. And they just haven't shown me that they could, and I'm waiting. Same thing like I've said. And now the second gear thing is just as important as it's ever been all season. It's hit that gear. Hit that gear.
Well, they're gonna need that gear.
Well, I've been waiting since August for them to hit that gear. Show me what you're made out of. Show me that you are the best side in Italy. Show us that. We know that you are, but show us that you are the best. Show us that you are supposed to be the best side in Europe. Show us that you want to be the best side in Europe. Because they haven't. And I'm telling you, Atletico's not going to come out and we know what they're going to come out with. We know what they're going to be like. They're not going to roll over, even if they concede first, because they've been there. They've been here. They've done it. This is not anything out of the norm to go to a big stadium like that and perform for 90 minutes. They've done it on some of the biggest stages over this nice little run. And this is their last chance, and I just really feel like there's more there than there should be. I'm not saying that they've botched the season to win, but I feel like that win there has increased the belief to a point where they know what they got to do. And unlike Spurs, where we're talking about Spurs going there and sitting and camping and not pushing back forward, those guys ain't camping. Those guys are doing what Fabs said that Spurs are gonna do.
Oh, they're gonna camp that.
And I trust them to do it. I don't trust Spurs.
I know you don't. But I'm in agreement. I would be just like Fab and I said about Spurs. I would be shocked if Diego goes there and plays anything but a closed game from their side. I would be shocked if he opens up in any way, shape, or form.
But at this point, it's like, why would you? Because that Juve side has nothing there to unlock you. Unless they're playing it through wide areas.
Which is why I think they'll go to 2 wide players.
Yeah. They're going to have to. Unless they play for... But Godin and Jimenez are no slouches.
Yeah.
No. They're going to...
Which is why I think Mandzukic will go central. And maybe Mandzukic and Ronaldo will play in those central areas.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But I got to give a lot of credit to Atleti because at the end of the day...
They did a job.
They did a job and they did more than a job. Because like Dan said, if this was last season, they would have been down like 4-0.
Is Simeone getting suspended?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
He's not?
I don't think so.
UEFA frowns upon all kinds of stuff like that.
I know, but that's too big of a game. They're not going to suspend him.
Well, didn't they do? They did it in the Europa League. Was it the semifinals last season?
Yeah.
He missed the second leg.
Yeah, well,
that's a big game changer. If they do that, then you know who's gonna call in the fix.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to say he's been suspended because that's in clear, plain sight.
Yeah, I mean it was a vulgar.
I don't care. I just know the way UEFA. I know the way UEFA runs.
Yeah,
and you expect stuff like that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
But maybe this is the test that Juventus have been waiting for for them to show us that second gear. Their backs against the wall now. There's only one way to get out of this.
Yeah.
You can't bullshit your way. If they come out of it past Atleti, then kudos to you because you really turned it around.
Correct. Well, I mean,
even though you've put yourself in this position now.
Yeah.
They get some nice favorable calls.
That's why I don't say this tie is over, because it takes one moment of brilliance, and that's why they got Ronaldo.
Yeah,
because of the moments he produces.
Right.
So
we'll
see if those Atleti fans piss them off enough.
Yeah, I saw him get into his little Mourinho bag
because he seems to always perform when somebody pisses him off. So
he got into his little Mourinho bag.
Yeah, I saw that
with the 5 hands.
Yeah,
it's like, geez, you don't do them like that, brother. Just chill out, man. Anyhow, yeah, man, it's all good, Dan. You'll bounce back.
I hope so.
What else happened?
You want to stay on that same match day?
What, City?
Yep.
Okay, we could definitely do that. They're gonna be fine.
Well, yep.
They're gonna be fine. And
why do City do this in Europe though?
They
always seem to concede and then like bring it back.
Well, like
it almost seems like it's never a complete effort in Europe, even though I'm sure it is a complete effort mentally.
Yeah. Whatever, penalty or not a penalty, whatever. I don't know. I had to really think when I was watching the game, and I know we put City on a high pedestal, but I feel like we kind of have to like step back a bit and really question whether they're as good as many people think they are. Like I said for Pjanic,
on a better team, that game probably ends 2-1 when Otamendi gets sent off. I wasn't surprised that Schalke conceded, just because they're just poor. But on a better night against a better team, if they don't get their head on straight, one day they're gonna fall behind and they're not gonna be able to come back. For me, this tie is over. They're not scoring. Even if they go to Man City and score, which is they have the ability to do it, I can't see them overturning this first leg result.
Number one, well, I could easily say that Schalke could have been down a few goals because City were kind of playing them off the park.
Yeah.
So
didn't finish.
Yeah, City were playing them off the park, so I could go hand in hand. Whereas, like, if another side would have killed off that game, Schalke should have never been in that position to begin with, based off
they scored 2 penalties,
handball and whatever. You know, we got to take that into perspective a bit. I just think that, and the reason why I say this because I know what City are. There are a lot of young players that are slowly reaching their peak, and then mixed with a bunch of players that are kind of almost near the end, with Silva and Aguero. I think the only mix in there really, and Fernandinho, I feel like the only mix in there really is De Bruyne, who's at that age where
in the middle,
where the peak, he's at his peak, or he should be at his peak. I just feel like if you compare them to any other elite side in the past, let's say from like 2008 to like 2012, 13, they're not as good as those sides. But I feel like we put them on a pedestal like they are because there aren't that many great sides. Or there's no great side. I don't think there's any great side in Europe. So I think that's why we put them there. And I just see it by the way that they manage games and go through games. You can still see that there's a learning curve that they need to hit. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they need better players, because as much as people have said they've spent, they could use an upgrade in a few areas. If they really, not everyone can use an upgrade.
Well, honestly speaking, how many world-class players do they have? 1? 2? Aguero, De Bruyne?
Mm-hmm. Some people wouldn't put Kevin in that conversation.
Wouldn't?
Okay, great players then?
Yeah, some people wouldn't put Kevin in that position.
Great players.
Okay, I'm putting Kevin in that spot. Okay. So I say 2.
Okay.
If you look at a lot of those elite sides,
yeah,
they're usually sides with, like, let's say that Barcelona side.
Yeah.
Xavi, Iniesta, David Villa in his prime.
Messi.
There are multiple players in those that are playing at that pedestal, right?
That's why I'm kind of not surprised when things kind of go sour for them. Because when you watch them enough, you could see that there are times where they just kind of lose
concentration.
It's hard to be that great when not all your players are that great.
Well, like you said, I think a lot of them are still young and learning the system, because let's not forget, this is only a 3-year-old project.
Right.
And the turnaround from season 1 to season 3, how many of those players that were in the season 1 team are still with the team now? So realistically, this is still their second season altogether.
Mhm.
And in between the second and the third season, there's been months that they've gone along without their real starting 11. There's been very few games this season where they've played with the starting 11 that Pep would envision.
Mhm.
So I think that's to their detriment, that a lot of these elite sides, there are sides that at the beginning of the season, their best starting 11. These Real Madrid teams that won the Champions League, they went into the final knowing their 11, who was going to play game in and game out when they needed their top players. City, I don't think, have had that benefit of being able to choose from their best players, either be it they didn't have them when they brought certain guys in, and through injury as well, hasn't helped them at all.
Like Raheem, Leroy, and Bernardo none of them are over 24.
Yep. Well, Jesus as well. He's probably, I think he's 2021.
Mhm.
You know, so like there's a balance in that squad where they have a bit of everything, whereas most teams that are like at the peak of their powers, great teams, they're all around those peak ages or just over it. They're not really defined by youngsters.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the case here. Like, yeah, Schalke possibly, if they're a better team, maybe closes out that game 2-1. But it's what good teams do. I can't really defend them when they concede that the manner in which they conceded that late goal for Sterling. The free kick is the free kick. The first goal kind of shows you what they really are.
Yep.
We know what the gulf is, and obviously we could look at them and be City need to be better, but there's a difference. I feel like it is a mental thing now. I feel like they know when they have to raise it, and sometimes they are guilty of kind of walking the dog when they know that they have
an inferior opposition.
Yeah. And I feel like that was the case here, because they should have buried that game.
And honestly, I think Pep knows that.
Yeah. And
that's why you see him so frustrated on the bench at times. It's because you're trying to get these 11 guys to play the way you're envisioning, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. I think that the second season, the 100-point season, also, as great as it was, pushed a lot of things to the back burner that are maybe not issues, but things that elite sides don't have issues with.
I always said that we overlook some of those games where they won at the death or got a result at the death, like literally 90 last kick of the game goals. And we overlooked that. And they were integral to that 100-point season and them winning the league. And that's why I said that there was always going to be an expected drop-off this season, because they were that great in terms of their point tally, and there was no way that they're going to be able to replicate that. But I still think they're on pace I still think they've gotten better, and they're improving as a whole and as a unit, and individually the players are.
And you're also now you're on the back half of a season where in the season 1 you were across all 4 competitions at one point.
Yeah.
And now you're back across all 4 competitions. You're not Arsenal or Liverpool who are getting bounced early in these trophies. You're going to almost the end of every single competition.
Liverpool get 11 days off in Qatar, and they come out and we'll get to those
guys like Fernandinho, guys like it's adding up.
Yeah.
This is why he needs to use an Otamendi. This is why he uses a company, is because you have to know how to manage these games, and it's a lot. And we're coming off the season where I think weren't they the side with the most players in the World Cup?
Yeah,
something like 16 or 17 or 18 players.
Yeah,
we often don't talk about it. These guys are human,
right?
Like the wear and tear. That's why these guys are getting hurt.
Yeah,
Mendy and De Bruyne and picking up injuries here and there. So are they? It's difficult to say if they're one of those great elite sides. I think with any elite side comes longevity.
Yeah.
So if you're able to produce greatness for 2, 3, 4 seasons, then I believe you become into that. You start to get into that conversation.
I even thought there were errors, and it could be, to your point, Fab, to to the amount of games played and whatnot. But that when I watched that game, the foul that Fernandinho makes in the box, it almost looks he's tired. The foul that the second foul Otamendi gets, I mean that's a stupid foul. He's going nowhere. Why take that foul? And I don't know on Otamendi's case if it's lack of playing, because you can't be lack of experience, because he's played a number of games for City, a number of games at high level for Argentina as well. You just those are things that against a better European side deeper in the competition, you can't have those kind of errors. And as time goes on, he's going to need to count on Otamendi at the back. And and that was to my point earlier, if this was against a better team, they go down 10 men and they're not going to have those same open opportunities that they did against this Schalke team. And I think to be a great European team, those kind of errors that you saw last night, those have to be eliminated. That's where I'm going.
But the thing about that is that we could go through every game this match day and say that about every single team. Which is why we say about every single team. I feel like every single team has made a mistake where it's like, yeah, you can't make that mistake against a good side or you'll get killed. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's something that happens game by game. Throughout the course of a game, you could pinpoint multiple times where teams make mistakes, and that's where the great teams just don't make as many, or they capitalize on other teams' mistakes.
Right.
So I think,
has Pep overachieved with this side and with some of the players?
I sure we've talked about this already, and I feel like it's not the popular opinion because this is why fans are losers. They feel like, oh, well, he spent this amount of money and he bought the squad, and they don't understand that, you know, you kind of need to spend a little bit of money if you're gonna challenge, and not challenge, but win these competitions.
Because like Fernandinho, Otamendi, Kompany, like he's won with some players who maybe weren't thought of to be fantastic players.
Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, like the only players that really had some like championship pedigree were the guys that were already on the squad, and Fernandinho, who now moved into his own position.
But even him, who would have ever imagined him to be what he's turned into today?
He has redefined Aguero's game, and Aguero's a much better player now than he was before Pep came. Mm-hmm. Moved David Silva and De Bruyne into different roles and got them to play and work.
I don't think many people could ever dream of the player that Bernardo Silva is today.
Yep.
Yes, he was good at Benfica, and yes, he was a promising talent at Monaco. But we've seen tons of promising talents go abroad and just not work out.
Yeah, but people always lean towards that money aspect without actually taking the deep dive as to like who this team is. Like to hit 100 points with that team, with those coaches,
yeah, it's impressive.
That level of competition, and that's what I'm saying. That like, those players, those key players, haven't even come close to their peak years yet.
Like if you go compare that, let's just say randomly, that Invincible squad to the Manchester City squad that hit 100 points, or some of those United squads,
it's ridiculous.
To the bunch of kids that eclipsed 100 points,
exactly. That's kind of
when you really look at it like that, or even the Real Madrid squad that just won the Champions League last season,
but they'll look back on it in a few years and it'll all come together.
Everything in hindsight, right?
Yeah, but now let them say what they got to say. But Dan's killing Schalke saying it's over. You know me, I'm not. As much as I think Schalke ain't who they are, I'm not going to go out and say that.
Let me cue up Never Say Never.
I'm going to let you get killed when that happens.
Okay.
When Schalke sneak out.
A 2-0 win?
When Schalke sneak out a 2-0 win and someone gets sent off for City again.
Maybe John Stones.
Leave John out of this. You have any faith in Schalke? You don't got to give me a prediction, but you have any faith in them?
Very small percentage.
Okay. That's all I want to hear. We're going to get to the games that that sucked.
Yeah.
Where there were no goals.
That were supposed to be great.
Liverpool Bayern. Yeah, no one wants to talk about Liverpool
no.
or Bayern. Bayern played well, okay? Sorry.
I think there was a frenetic start. It was a ridiculous first half in terms of the back and forthness, the openness to it. I think there was good individual performances, but I think almost both teams sort of canceled each other out with their play.
I thought more in the second half than in the first.
It felt like it was even. There were I don't know. I can't really pinpoint the word that I want to use, but I think a lot of people expected Liverpool to just walk Bayern.
Mm-hmm. Everyone did.
Everybody expected Liverpool to walk Bayern, and I don't think it's that simple, which I think a lot of people forget. Yes, Bayern haven't played fantastic this season, but there still are players there that do have the pedigree to play on certain nights. Like Sule and Hummels, as bad as Bayern have been at certain points in the season, that partnership has still been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmich, I thought, was one of the better players on the field. He's still in my top 5 for right backs in terms of world football.
They're going to miss him in the second
which
leg.
is huge. Mm-hmm. And Kingsley played well. I thought Serge played a hell of a game. I thought I've turned around my opinion on him at the beginning of the season and what he is now. I think he's really picked up the slack and he's proven to be a good player. I think Lewandowski didn't have very many chances, which I think is the meat and potatoes of Bayern. If they get him going, then that's a completely different story, right? But they managed the game well. Mm-hmm. It's not simple. We've said this time and time again. It is not easy to go to Anfield and play. I think if you ask Kovac, if you're going to Anfield and you're coming out with a 0-0 draw, he'll take it 10 out of 10 times.
That was going to be my point. I think this result is this result is better for Bayern than it is for Liverpool. And I think to your point, the second half became even more cagey than the first half. And as that second half went on, I almost felt like Kovac was going to be happy taking away that draw back to the Allianz Stadium.
I think it's also how you manage these games. A lot of it is minor details. It comes down to coaching decisions. And a lot of times it's not only your players that win you or lose you the games, but we've seen throughout many games that it's a managerial decision, the way they decide to line up. And I thought Kovac did what he needed to do to get a good result. Now, did he set out to just get a 0-0? Probably not, because when you manage Bayern, you're never looking for just a 0-0. If you can grab a goal, you grab a goal. But I think he'll be ecstatic with the result that he did get. The only, I'd say, performance that probably was mediocre and he floated through the game was James. I think they missed his bit of quality to maybe get Lewandowski into the game.
For them, yeah. I always said that when Thiago's there, kind of, that's the best midfielder that they kind of have going forward. They missed Goretzka. I think he could have offered something given the way he's played at the start of 2019. But Martinez was a rock too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's fantastic. Had a very poor season. So for him to step into that role, that's huge.
Yeah.
Sula doesn't get enough credit for some big Champions League games that he's played at a short time at Bayern. And that's another top performance for him. I've always felt that Mats, if he's healthy, which we haven't really seen, he's one of the best center backs in the world. If he's healthy. We just don't see it a lot. And that's the biggest problem with him. And he shows it. Yes, he makes the odd mistakes. He's a bit more proactive than other defenders. But he is one of the better/best center backs when he's healthy. But he needs to be healthy. So that's key for them. My thing was with the Lewandowski, I said last week, he gets killed a lot because he doesn't have a big European night. And I was going through all the strikers or the, let's say, top strikers in the world right now. And not many of them have a big European night. Kareem doesn't have a big European night.
Kuhn.
Edinson doesn't have a big European night. Aguero doesn't have a big European night.
Do you mean it in general or in this shorter times?
I mean in the latter stages of the competition. Aguero doesn't have it, like I said. Luis Suarez doesn't have a big European night. I mean, Like, that's what people kill him on. Because a lot of people say, well, his last big European night was against Real Madrid when he scored the 4 goals.
I was going to say the 4 goals.
However long that was. But even when you look at that, like, that's once in a...
That's an anomaly, man.
Yeah.
But to score 4 goals and...
But do you really need those big European nights?
But like I said, Twitter's... People are stupid.
I would
Fans
rather...
are
for
stupid.
stats. For
Fans
stats.
are
Yeah.
stupid.
I would rather have a striker that scores that key goal than 4 on a European stage.
Well, I feel that's what they mean too, is that he's never, like, when Bayern have needed a goal in previous years and in those knockout competitions, he's never been able to give them that goal. And
that would be a little bit fair.
But like I said, all those strikers.
Okay, okay, and if you look at those other strikers, and if it's the same, then it's fair. I'm just saying, I don't think that you need a 4-goal performance or a 3-goal performance to be an elite. I think you need to be consistent and score those key goals.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are, as great as we know Lewandowski is, people are starting to think that he's not that great, because when the Champions League knockout stages come around, he doesn't really score the big goals or score any goals. And then when you look at Poland, which is a bit unfair too, he doesn't really score, right? Except for like the qualifiers and whatnot.
When we get into the nitty gritty of these competitions, a lot of these, it's not single individual performance. 90% of the time, it's not a single individual performance that wins you the game.
Yeah.
Very few in between do you get a Ronaldo where he takes over the game or Messi takes over the game. Those things don't happen normally. It has to be a team game.
Yeah.
But regardless of if you're look at Atletico Madrid, their center back scores goals. Nobody's talking about Griezmann.
Exactly.
But I think as you get deeper into the competition and as the coaches get better as well, I think you set out there to say, you know what? And I'm sure Max said the same thing. If Juanfran scores or if Godin scores, I would rather take that than
100%.
Griezmann.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So it
doesn't matter at this point who scores.
No, but to have those, to score on those big European nights, if you're that striker, I think the deeper you go into that competition, the more valuable that goal becomes.
Yeah.
Because of how tactically tight you get as you get deeper and deeper into the competition. If I was Max or I don't know, Nico, I'm saying, you know what? If James Milner scores, well, you know what? At least Salah didn't score. We shut down their best player. And if somebody else scores, then so be it. Yeah. If you get beaten by Mo Salah scoring 3 goals, well, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm just telling you guys what the East Streets are saying.
No, well...
Yeah, but if you ain't say nothing to them, because they're gonna come after you.
Well, that's fine. Let them come after me.
As a striker, are you converting most of the opportunities that you get? And in this game, the opportunities for Lewandowski were few and far in between. Mm-hmm. It's not like they were clear. I'm betting on him over Diego Costa if he gets in that 1v1.
Oh, absolutely,
100%.
And that to me is at the end of the day, even if he doesn't score a goal in the group stage, that's the guy I want in these knockout phases. Because when he gets that opportunity, 9 times out of 10, he's going to bury it.
Yeah, Lewandowski's still one of the best strikers in the world, hands down.
Yeah.
Debate your mama. I don't really care. I swear to God. Debate her. She'll tell you the same thing. I just want to get that out of the way. Y'all really gave Mo and Sadio a pass this week, but
Sadio had a number of chances.
I see you guys, Prem boys. You guys said I wasn't gonna plug you guys. The PR Prem boys not gonna kill Mo and Sadio.
I don't think it's so much Mo, but Sadio has to score at least one of those chances.
Well, it's so much Mo because Mo didn't do shit.
Yeah, but Sane had a number of chances that
I know it goes both ways.
Yeah,
if you get the chances you miss, you're getting cut, you're getting killed. But if you don't do anything, barring that one chance where he spun Alaba, then got stuck because Wijnaldum got in his way.
Yeah,
he didn't do shit. Roberto was,
but I think you can. I'll take the flip side of things. I mean, that then credit Bayern's defense for shutting down.
No.
Mo.
No. I'm not giving them credit for shutting him down. I don't think they shut him down. I still think he played well.
Okay, but isn't that due to something?
Do to him. Let's do to him. Let's do to him. That was not. I don't think Bayern did anything specifically to intentionally shut him out of the game. He shut himself out of the game.
Nice.
Sadio had all the chances. Roberto did whatever the hell he wanted to. David Alaba was not shutting down Mo Salah. As much as I love David Alaba. But they did keep their fullbacks a bit deeper so they wouldn't get hit on the counter. I loved Kovac's plan to a T. I think that was probably their best game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And it now puts them in a position, it's the best position that they could be in because it puts them in a position where they can go on to advance. They have something to play for in that second leg. And where a lot of people thought that they wouldn't be there, they're there. And it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it now.
I think I'm going to echo your statement. I think maybe apart from Man City, because they won away from home, Bayern are in a very, very good position now heading into that second leg.
Well, it goes like this, man. If you want to, I'm going to say the same thing for the next game that we're going to break down. Just like it applies to Bayern, it applies to Barcelona, that you put yourself in a position now where if you don't make it to the next round, it's on you because all you have to do is win at home.
Yep.
Simple.
Even against Liverpool?
You have to win. If you're coming into this competition to win it, you got to win at home. Because it's not like they're playing for a tie or anything, right? Like Liverpool aren't playing for a tie. Like this is a full-blown game now.
Both sides
have to go for it. So if you can't beat the other side at home and they're not significantly better than you, well, that's kind of on you. It's a one-off. It's like a cup final.
In a sense, yeah.
Because even though if Liverpool score first, if Bayern score back, I don't think they're going to play for the tie. I don't think they're just going to sit back and try and hold out. Unless it's like maybe the 80th minute or so.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's how they're going to approach. They're not going to sit back and defend for like 40 to 50 minutes.
Who?
Liverpool.
Oh, no.
If they were to score first.
They don't have the midfield to do that either.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's in their DNA to be able to do it.
So we're in a position now where it's a one-off, and if you can't win, if you can't beat the opposition at home,
you don't deserve to go.
through. It's not like it's in a position where now they got to go to Anfield and that they're not to be like, okay, well, I'll cut Bayern some slack, but now you're going at home. This is your opportunity. That's why you won the group.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
And the same thing applies to when we travel to France. Barcelona, if they don't get out of the group, if they don't get out of this round, then that's on them.
Yep.
No, 100% it's on them.
That's on them. A lot of people are killing Luis Suarez this week too, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He didn't play that well, so I can't blame them.
There's some fickle people out there.
A lot of people are killing him. A lot of people feel that Messi should rest for Sevilla and the Copa del Rey.
I think people just look at the name Lyon and just automatically gave Barcelona the pass.
Yeah.
I think this game wasn't going to be just a walk in the park. Barcelona do have a nice lead in the league, but they're another team that has lacked complete consistency throughout the season.
But they were given a walk in the park.
One game they
didn't take the walk.
One game, but that's been their MO all season. Is that they at times really struggle to get goals. And if it's not a moment from somebody, then as a unit, I don't know. I think right now they're sort of missing Artur. I think the creativity that he was adding to the midfield was very nice at the beginning of the season. But at this point, it's almost like the offense is kind of stalled. Yeah, you have two fantastic. You have Suarez and Messi who on almost a regular basis provide you with something. But that can't be the story every week.
But that's what I said a couple weeks ago.
You need to get something from elsewhere.
Are they now too Messi reliant?
They've been like that for years.
Oh, you guys keep saying the same thing every week.
Years.
Well, we're here again.
we know what they are. But it's not that they're other players got to step up, man.
That's what I mean. It's on the other guys.
Fabs, kill your guy.
No, I can't. I'll let you do it.
Kill your guy. he offers them something totally different, and I get that. They don't have the pace, they don't have the ability to stretch the lines and whatnot. That's cool.
He just needs to learn to not need to dribble past everybody.
But he's also
he's still very raw.
Where we talk about City in that sense, he's still in that demographic.
He's
very
young.
raw, super raw.
He's in that demographic.
That's why I give more slack to a guy like Coutinho. If you're looking at those two guys, it's him that needs to provide us with something. This is what they brought you in for.
Yes. Yeah, I would give more slack to Dembele than
you mean Coutinho more than Dembele?
Sorry, yes.
But I feel like Coutinho's finally realizing what he is. And that's a humbling experience.
Do you think he's regretting the move?
Do
you think it was a step too far for him?
If he's a weak man, then I think so. But like I feel like he really feels out of his element. But Coutinho's, I always question that whether he could be a player that plays for a top level side, because there's so much more than just being able to float around.
But where do you go if you're Barcelona from here? Do you just give up?
I don't know.
Like, do you give up on him?
Ask Sask. Ask Yaya Toure. They all go back to England. They're able to kind of and rejig it together. There have been other players too that left Barca. As Zlatan. But Zlatan was a different situation.
It is a different situation
in itself. So he can find somewhere else to go, but it just won't be at that level. And it would have to be, for him to really be the guy, or for him to really achieve success, I don't think he could be the guy, and he would have to play a lesser role.
Because you feel like Barcelona would be a perfect fit because he doesn't have to be the guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have the tactical intelligence or discipline to play for them.
He has been hurt for a decent stretch of the season. I think that needs to be given a bit of slack.
But I think
he was playing well for a bit, though.
I think
started the season well.
Yeah,
I think that's maybe his only silver lining, that Barca won't give up on him that easily, and that's why I think they may give him one more season. But if he has another season next year, as he does this year, he could be sold in January.
It's up to him too, as well, because I feel like Barcelona want to stick with him because of the brand that he is, and it is a positive thing for them from a global perspective.
Does he have a brand?
Yeah,
is he one of those recognizable figures? You feel
he's loved.
Really,
he's loved. He's loved on the East Streets. Well, now he's kind of getting exposed, but he's loved by people worldwide. I don't know why. YouTube helped. But he's loved.
I just feel like when I see a brand player, I think of a Griezmann, I think of a Pogba, I see them in all these Adidas commercials.
James.
I think of Ronaldo. Yeah, even I see James as more of a brand.
Well, I think
Coutinho. I could be wrong, but
I think like back home more so than the global aspect, right? But like he's an adored player. Like the fans people love him. But I feel like that crowd may turn on him soon. He's got to get it together. And I think that's something that he needs to do. But I also think that Barcelona are in a position now where, like I said, they got to look at Ernesto.
Well, they only gave him that 1 year re-up.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. But they got to look at him.
So him like Simeone, it's kind of like that 1 year, we'll give it to you, but it's not guaranteed type of deal.
But he knows. And he's
he has to know.
He's got to do better here.
He has to know that a round of 16 exit to Lyon, the same way Max, will lead to
no, for sure. That's without question.
Especially at home. You cannot have a Roma 2.0 this season.
No.
Yeah, because that would be bad on your track record.
Yeah.
Roma and Lyon.
Yeah.
I don't even think Lyon played that well in that game either. They did have their long range efforts that forced Ter Stegen into some saves, but I've seen them play much better against City and PSG. Granted that Barcelona are probably, as a whole, better than those two teams. Maybe slightly better than City in the way that they approach games and the level of control that they have. So they weren't, and mind you, one of those games, City were kind of undermanned.
Yeah.
But they had really not much going for them. Barcelona, on another night, we can make the case, should do better. But Suarez needs to, I don't know if he needs a rest. I don't know what happens, but they don't have a replacement for him up front. That's the biggest issue. And Messi hasn't been the same since that little, was it an injury?
Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't been the same since. So that's why people are calling for that rest. But
problem is you're at the stage of the season where it's very difficult to
rest,
pick up rest anywhere, especially if any team across world soccer right now, Barcelona.
Yeah.
That schedule.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is A, get kicked out of Copa del Rey to Real Madrid.
Right.
Or B,
drop points.
Allow Atletico any glimmer of hope.
Right.
Because if Atletico somehow get out of their matchup with Juventus now, and then also have a little bit of glimmer of hope in the league, that could be something that revitalizes their season a little bit.
So we'll see. But is there anything else that you guys really took from that game?
No.
It's more of a Barcelona thing, right?
Yeah.
I think anybody thinking, as much as I think Lyon would give Barcelona a good matchup, at the end of the day, this tie was always going to be Barcelona's to lose.
Yes.
That's all?
That's it.
You suck. Chelsea got knocked out of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Anything you want to take away from that?
Hang on.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club.
Buddy was mad.
Yeah.
He was angry. But then today, everything's okay again. I swear Europa League is the place where you can go and for a week, your fan base will be happy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a wonderful place.
I hear people saying now, this is sorry ball. This is how we should be playing.
All of a sudden, Conte could meander up the pitch and break a defense apart, but they want him to play at the back. Inter Milan can score goals.
4. Icardi is not needed.
The Europa League is a wonderful place to be. Arsenal could score goals.
I'm standing by that, but we'll get to that.
Arsenal can score. Napoli are scoring goals.
Look, man, that fan base is stupid. Can I just say it?
Can we start and end there?
Can I just say that on camera that like they are by far the most ridiculous fan base out there. And I know there are some wacky fan bases, but Chelsea's is the cream of the crop.
They're just like the confused little kid who doesn't know what they want.
And whenever they lose, it is by far the greatest spectacle on social media because you watch them bicker amongst themselves. And yeah, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they are. I've been there. I've done that. I've said that. My biggest thing from what I took away from that United match was a lot of... as much as we've really kind of campaigned for Sarri to a certain degree, I do think at some point he's
got to help himself.
I know that he's not going to. At some point, he's got to help himself.
Yeah. That's Zappacosta change? That is nuts.
Yeah. That is nuts. Look, man. Maurizio and I both know that Hudson-Odoi ain't going to change anything. But throw on the little kid so these fans can get happy and then realize that he ain't shit. People, that was my biggest thing with Zach. When I mentioned that Callum Hudson-Odoi is not going to make a difference, why would Bayern want to buy him for 40 million?
Chelsea just bought Pulisic.
Yeah,
I'm like,
for 60.
I'm like, what does that matter? What does that even matter?
Okay, in that thinking, do we automatically just think that Pulisic is better than Hudson-Odoi?
Exactly. Yeah. Look, man, and I made a case, and that's why the guy called me daft, by the way, because I said Callum Hudson-Odoi wouldn't start on any side in the top 6.
I think that'd be extremely difficult to argue against you.
Because Callum Hudson-Odoi is not that good. And he's not that good because he's 18. I don't expect him to be that good.
Yep.
I don't expect him to start for a club like Chelsea. He should not feel that he should start at that club. Who is he to think that he should start at that club?
At 18, no.
Who are you? What have you done?
We're giving these players too much slack.
But what has Callum Hudson-Odoi ever done?
Nothing. He performs very well in meaningless games against nobody.
What has he ever done? And that's my point. Like, who are you? I don't understand why that's why fans are stupid too, because they feel the need that if things go wrong, why not just play the youth? The youth stinks. Sorry, Ampadu. Sorry, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Look, Christians, man.
I do think that at this point, you have nothing to lose. Like, that's where that Zappacosta change. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, at that point of the match, let Jorginho and Conte play in midfield and put one of these guys out wide. Or at that, you couldn't actually because you did your Kovacic for Barkley change.
Yeah, they're pissed at that.
So you would have had to change Jorginho or Conte, but just let the kid go, and whatever happens at that point.
You played him today.
Yeah, he played him today. I hope
He scored.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I don't care if he scored today. Hope they
Against Malmo.
I hope they play him on Sunday and he gets run over. Not that I want him to get run over, but just to prove a point. Just to prove a point. He's not that good, man.
I think we just expect a lot out of these young kids. It's the equivalent of Davies going to Bayern Munich, and even with an aging Robin and an aging Ribery, and really no other wide players there other than the two that start in Coleman and Gnabry, and expecting him to play when those two aren't playing well. He's just 18, 19.
I just look at it as like Bayern's transfer business hasn't been that great in the past few years anyways, and they're buying him for the future, and he ain't started when he gets over there.
No.
So why are we bringing this into the discussion? Who else could he bring on off the bench to really change that game against United?
Nobody.
He brought on Willian. Willian did shit.
Brought on Barkley.
Did shit. Giroud wouldn't do shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, he wouldn't. And they let Pogba and Ander do them like that. I was gonna kill Pogba because I didn't think he had a great game prior to the goal and creating the goal.
I don't get what people see.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. He's the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
That's why I stay off Twitter.
I purposely watched that first half twice. Predominantly the second time I watched it was just to see how he did. Yes, don't get me wrong. The assist is fantastic.
Yeah, the assist was fantastic.
The goal is great. No Chelsea players decided to track you. Let's not forget any of that. They were all ball watching. I swear that's their favorite pastime.
Yeah.
Pause. Ball watching. Because that's what those two center backs do.
Yeah.
And those he had misplaced passes. He lost the ball in his own end. He's lucky Azpilicueta is who Azpilicueta is because he didn't have to track him all game.
Yeah.
You took the words out of my mouth.
And I don't want to sound like the Pogba hater, but just don't put him on that pedestal.
We're here. We're hating. We're hating on Paul. Sorry, Paul. You ain't the guy. You're not the guy. You are not the best midfielder in the world. You haven't been the best midfielder in the Premier League this season. People are saying he's the best, but no, you're not. I don't know if you're the best midfielder in France.
Wow, he's not the best midfielder in Manchester.
That's what I said. He's not the best midfielder in Manchester.
No, there is not. He can't even lace up De Bruyne's boots.
I was gonna say
he's not.
David Silva.
Hey, your boy Zach said that. Well, if you put Paul with Pep, Pep will make him a Ballon d'Or winner. And that's what I was like, yo, I'm happy you unfollowed me.
Yeah. Can we ask that guy how many Ballon d'Or winners Pep has made?
Exactly.
Other than the one because he's an alien.
Yeah.
And he would have made himself a Ballon d'Or winner.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
He doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. But I we just have to talk about that game quickly.
No, because I think it was big.
Yeah.
But it's Twitter is hilarious because these narratives every week is something new.
Yeah.
That's why I'm relaxing on the Juventus Atletico thing and all that, because in a week's time, this conversation could be completely different.
Yeah.
When Juventus give them the 3-0 smack.
Whatever it is, even if Juventus came out and make a game of it, push it to extra time, that's what I meant by saying I don't think Juventus is that bad, and I don't think Atletico is that great.
I hope Dortmund comes back again.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm playing, man. I'm playing.
Speaking of Dortmund.
Yeah, I know. They drew. They drew.
They really want to let Bayern back in.
No, they've let them in. They've let them back in.
Yeah, it's back to just a single game.
Yeah.
So
that's
since
three draws in a row?
Since we're going down memory lane, I remember stating earlier on in the season.
I definitely didn't make any hot take in the German Bundesliga.
I know.
Oh, thank
God. Yeah, you're soft. You're soft.
I stayed away from that one.
Fabs co-signed this with me, and we've always said that they go as far as Marco takes them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I got to run back that clip about Spurs. But Marco got to play. Marco got to play. Marco's form was so pivotal to what they were doing. He was the X factor.
He's involved in everything.
He is the X factor.
Yeah.
And since he's been hurt, they've dropped back down to reality.
It's night and day.
Reality. And if he doesn't come back, it's just going to be crazy. Someone else is going to have to level up.
Yeah. Oh, they need one of those kids to step up.
Someone's got to level up.
And that was my issue with them all along, is I don't think those kids have the stomach for it.
And when we look at that Bayern side against Liverpool, we saw the experience from the back to the front. And that's going to be the difference maker here. So when old boys got to go to the Allianz to go toe-to-toe with them, they better be ready. And Marco's got to be ready. And that's all I got to say about that. That 0-0 draw did not surprise me at all. And anything further without Marco Reus and them dropping points is not going to surprise me.
They're calling How to Be a Millionaire. Can they get a lifeline Marco back?
They need him back.
Yeah.
Because we've said it night and day, he's been the linchpin to everything that they've done. No Royce, no party.
How's that 25 mil you paid for Paco too?
Yeah. It's so
team's got to relax, man.
Everything is coming full force for them now. We're gonna see what they're really about. And also Pogba ain't shit. I'm gonna get all those little Pogba. I'm gonna get the Pogba party. What do they call it?
I don't know. The Pog Hive? I don't know.
I'm gonna get the Pog Hive after me. Let's see what they say. I'm telling you, man. He ain't the one. I know the ones when I see the ones.
We'll see it this weekend.
Oh, against Liverpool. Yeah.
Well, it's another one of those big games, and we'll see if he
shows up,
disappears, or.
Yeah. Sorry, man. The goals and the nice little assists, they don't mask everything. Sorry.
No, hey, he's great on YouTube.
I know.
Fantastic moments.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking away his goals and assists. Obviously, it's been instrumental in this rebrand that Ollie started. But it's based on a 90-minute performance when you're being put on the level of world class. If you want to say he's a good player, he's a good Premier League player, a top Premier League player, then I'm with you.
We could have that conversation.
But when you start to say he's the best midfielder in the world,
not having it,
then I don't just judge you on your goal and assist ratio. No, I judge your impact on the entire game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. That's just how it has to be, right? So at the end of the day, Pog ain't shit. Pogba ain't shit. I just have to get that off my chest.
We're not going to have very many French fans.
I don't care.
It's okay. No, we don't need them.
It's okay. I tell them about Mbappe, who did score in PSG's 5-1 win. I like Conte. I like
Varane.
I like Varane.
You're not a big fan of Griezmann.
I like Umtiti. Yeah, Griezmann is shit.
That's a guy Barcelona could use.
I don't like Lloris.
No, I'm with you on that one. That's for sure.
What's
okay? Sorry, France. Maybe you won't like me.
What's next?
I guess. What was that Premier League announcement about? Canadian Premier League.
Oh, that they've signed with the media company for 10 years.
Okay,
it was a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's no details as to
I know.
The streaming platform.
They kind of just highlighted what that company does.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. We see you. We see you, Tim's.
I believe next week is their schedule.
Yeah, we see you, Tim's, and we see you, Curtis. Yo, Curtis, man, stop playing games. Let's get it rolling. That's all I gotta say. So we're gonna get to the final piece. The final piece. We saved it, the best for last. You know what time it is, Dan. CONCACAF Champions League, where the Reds, were not marching in.
Wait, can I use this again?
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression, there is no fucking mindset in this football club.
Hey, what are you reaching over here for? Oh, there we go.
There was none of it. There was none. I wasted 90 minutes watching what I knew what was going to happen. Not to that degree. But I don't...
Did you honestly, though, you didn't really think that against that side, against a Panamanian side, even TFC wouldn't do a better performance than that?
No, I didn't think they'd get beat down like that.
Yeah.
I did not expect them to get beat down like that. But then I thought about it for a bit.
No. No.
Okay. This is my thing, Dan. This is where I have my level head analysis here. TFC finished where last season?
down there.
How
Down
good? How good?
Where down there?
How good was TFC last season?
Not very.
How many games did that Panamanian side play this season?
4.
4?
I think 5, but whatever.
5 league games?
Whatever it is.
4 or 5 league games?
Let's just say they're a month into their season.
They're a month into their season following a preseason.
Yep.
How many games has TFC played this season?
1. Well, this one. 0 before.
0 before this. So this is their first full competitive game.
Yep.
In a tough environment. They finished as low as you could get in MLS. Because y'all didn't even tell me where they finished. They lost Victor Vasquez. Mind you, he barely played last season because he made out of glass.
Okay.
They lost St. Ricketts, who, mind you, didn't really start last season.
Yep.
But if you needed a vital goal, he could give you a vital goal.
Okay.
He could probably do something against that side. And they lost arguably the best individual to ever play in the league.
They finished second last in the Eastern Conference.
Okay. So they lost all that.
Yep.
And they added, what player of substance have they added?
0.
So my thing here is that even if they had those guys, because I know only one of them would have been playing, because Victor made out of glass ain't playing.
Not on that turf.
Yeah, he's not playing. And we don't know if Tosay touches the pitch. We would like to assume that he probably does at some point, but we don't know. So Seba's only playing. And you know where I stand on this, that we don't need to include whether he played, whether he not, whether he wouldn't, what he would have done, what he couldn't have done. But I still feel, and I'm going to say this hypothetically, that if he was there, those issues are still there. Does he probably? And the great thing, this is one of the great things about Giovinco not being there, is now the club could take a real look at what is wrong, or the board or the ownership could take a real look at that squad and see what is wrong and actually try to fix it. Because I feel like if Giovinco was there, yeah, perhaps they may not lose that bad. Perhaps he does score the 1 or 2 wonder goals or creates a goal. But at the end of the day, that kind of covers up the issues that are ongoing.
There are very, very clear issues that are going on with that club. But with that being said, you cannot, if you're TFC, go down to Panama and lose 4-0.
Why not?
You cannot.
Why not?
Because Greg Vanney has to manage that game a hell of a lot better than what he did. 4-5-1, change the formation, bunker down, do whatever. But you have just played yourself out of that tie. When we talked about all those European ties, Bayern keeping themselves in it, TFC just played themselves out of that tie. Because they are, I don't care what delusional TFC fan tells you, but TFC is not coming into BMO Field next week and scoring 5 goals against that Panamanian side. And the same thing that I said about Atletico Madrid against Juve, that Panamanian side will score at BMO Field, which means TFC needs 6, okay, to advance.
I hope they score 6.
I hope so too, but it's not going to happen, okay? That TFC side is a hell of a lot worse than a lot of people are thinking they are. And I'm tired of hearing, what if Seba was here? Seba's not here. Okay? Seba's not playing for us. End of that Seba discussion. Because if Seba was on that pitch, what would have happened? We never know. What if Messi was playing? What if Ronaldo was playing? They don't play for TFC. Neither does Giovinco. Move on from that player. He's not here. He decided to go
get the bag.
Exactly. Okay? Let's move on. Forget about whether he was playing last night or not. If you want to say, and if you want to have the argument, what if Josie was there? Okay, you know what? At least Josie's part of the club. Well, we can have that discussion. Seba's not part of TFC. Let's move on from talking about Seba.
Hey man, if Seba was there, they're still getting their ass beat.
No, they're not. They're not losing 4-0 if Seba was there. But like I said, that's on Greg Vanney. I'm sorry. That is tactically naive. You're down 2-0. You know what? Bunker your ass down and hope they don't score 3-4 goals on you. Because, like I said, now you've got to come back to BMO and score at least 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 to advance.
What if that wasn't really on the cards for them this season?
To do what? To go far in the Champions League? It's not on the cards for them. Any TFC fan that tells you that they were going to go far in the CONCACAF Champions League is also delusional. Because we do not have TFC. I don't want to say we. TFC does not have a good enough team this year to challenge for that CONCACAF Champions League.
So why are we upset?
I'm not upset. I'm. You know what? I'm upset.
So why are they upset?
I'm upset at the result, because you should not go down to Panama and lose 4-0. I think TFC fans should be upset at the manner in which they lost.
I'm upset for the fans that went.
Can you imagine?
No,
it's probably nice down in Panama.
Yes, it was warm.
What makes you decide to pick up a plane ticket and fly to Panama to watch a CONCACAF chat? Don't try and defend it.
Oh, I wasn't.
What makes you have the audacity to pick up a plane ticket and go to Panama to watch a CONCACAF Champions League game?
Maybe
You're a diehard Red.
Yo, man, y'all are wild. Dad, they are bad, but we knew that they were bad last season.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not surprised. They couldn't defend a lick last season. So for them to go down there and do that, yeah, you could blame Vanny. I'm not the big Vanny guy. Have I killed Vanny on here yet?
No.
I haven't?
You will this season.
No, well, I should have done it a long time ago. It is what it is, man. That's why I can't really invest that many feelings into it, because they gave me, for the most part, what I expected. Because I look at that and I was like, I don't know where they're going to, you said it, I don't know where they're going to score goals in that side going forward. Although I think the kid on the right wasn't too bad in the first half. He was positive.
Yeah.
He's not great.
No.
I don't even think he's good. But, like, he wasn't. But what else do you expect, man? I don't know what.
You don't expect that, though.
That's what I'm saying.
The beatdown?
No.
What was the third goal? One of the goals was like a rocket.
That was the second one.
That was the second one.
When he made Lawrence Simon look like a...
Or are we going to slowly get Bono out of here, too?
Yeah. That second goal's on him.
I've been waiting for you guys to do that.
That second goal's on him. Poor position.
There's a lot of things that I haven't liked about this squad for a very long time. Fabs could go back to even when they won. I wasn't really, champagning them or giving them full credit. Fabs could tell you, I wasn't really like, oh yeah. Like, I know statistically they were the best, but I still looked at them and I was like, they could get got at if they don't improve. Mm-hmm. So that's why when they had the little drop-off last season, or I won't call it a little drop-off, when they had the drop-off, I wasn't really surprised.
But you just said it right there. That's been their biggest issue. They've never improved.
That's the thing.
They've never added they added a couple guys last season, but they were more so just the name.
Yeah.
Gregory, he's gone. He's not even in the plans anymore.
And he was a name. They were better off without him.
100%.
Mm-hmm. But that was always my thing. And I used a Premier League reference because that's the league where teams are never able to defend the title, because when they win the league, they rest on their laurels and they never bring in another player to really challenge that. And that's why we gave Pep credit this season, because although Riyad hasn't really played a key factor in their title winning campaign or their title challenging campaign this season, he's definitely put pressure on Leroy, Raheem, and Bernardo to step up, because now they feel like if they don't train well or play well, then they know Riyad's knocking on the door. And that's the benefit of having competition for places. And I look at this, I know obviously the cap and everything else comes into play with improving your squad, but I looked at that TFC squad that defeated Seattle after losing to them. And I looked and I was like, for me, watching it as a neutral, there was something that didn't feel right about that. As a fan, you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to, I can never take that away from any fan.
No,
you're supposed to feel happy. But I'm watching it as a neutral. There was something about that made me feel that there's something missing there. And then the next season, everything that I felt about that squad
came true.
blew up.
You know what else that really wouldn't sit well with me if I was a TFC fan is the way they talk, Ali Curtis and the other brass, surprised that they are where they are. Oh, we didn't expect to lose Vasquez. Oh, we expected Juventus. How can you be so naive and you expect those guys? Did you not know that those guys were going to leave if you didn't give them a decent contract? Did you know? Jovinko came out with a quote today, and I read it, saying, I was offered something in October and I found it disrespectful. So you knew in October that the offer you made him, he wasn't going to sign. And here we are in February. You have no replacement for Jovinko. You have no replacement for Vasquez. The season is starting. Forget about the Champions League. Okay? The MLS season is starting. And you're going into the MLS season with no Jovinko replacement, no Vasquez replacement. For me, that's poor on the management. On any level. If this was Man City and you lost Aguero and Pep is like, I don't know, he was leaving. Like, what? That's the problem with that football club. Don't tell me that you're surprised that Jovinko was leaving. You're surprised that Vasquez left. I don't buy that. I don't buy that as an excuse, and I don't buy that as we're just going to throw away the champions. That is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. You're going to throw away a competition that you're in. I've never heard of any other football club do that, ever. Barcelona's, I don't...
Napoli.
Copa del Rey, screw it.
Napoli, Liverpool. Liverpool.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, no, it's not
Napoli
the right
tried
way.
to focus on the league.
But if you
had something.
But if you look at those two teams, what went on to happen to them is what did they win at the end of their seasons?
0.
And it looks like at this point that it might trend in that direction for TFC.
Yeah.
Because you look at that team from top to bottom, and is that an MLS winning side?
And
you have Jay Chapman, Akinola, Frazier, Endo, and I don't even know the other two kids on your bench.
Yeah.
We already complained last season about their bench and there not being enough options coming off of it. Right. And now it's even worse.
Yeah. And the thing is that I've read a lot of TFC fans saying, oh, we'll be happy to make the play. Making the playoffs is not a trophy. It's not an achievement if you make the playoffs. That's not anything. But
do we have to dial back expectations now?
Mm-hmm.
Because TFC have been on a high for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Is it time to finally dial back those expectations and say, look, we caught a good window where we had everything clicking. We had the best player in the league. We had Josie scoring goals. We had Victor Vasquez. We had a very good team. Now, a lot of these parts are gone. A lot of these parts aren't what they used to be. So as a fan base, as a team, is it time to scale it back here? Or do you still strive to be the top side, even though it doesn't look like it's like that anymore?
I think in the league that they're in, and with the financial backing of MLS, you should always, TFC should be always competing to win a championship. You have that much money backing you. You cannot be just happy qualifying for the playoffs. You have spent, and maybe we should talk about how poorly they've spent their money, but they have 5-10 times the purchasing power of a Columbus Crew or a Orlando City. Look, you've got to come out and you've got to spend your money on those top name players. Your TFC has talk about being that franchise that is there every year, dynasty, this and all that other bullshit you hear in North America. If you want to talk, you got to walk the walk. And that starts with the owners. You got to go, you're losing Jovinko? That's fine. You go out there and you throw some money at someone else. You bring him over. This guy from Genk, he doesn't want to play, or Genk doesn't want to release him, and rightly so. If I was Genk, I wouldn't want to release him either. They're fighting for the league. Why do I want to release our captain and best player? No? Okay, move on to someone else. Go. Throw some money. You have money. Ali Curtis is walking around Europe with a bag of money. Go and throw it at Mauro Icardi. Okay? Go and throw it at someone who is going to be young, going to come here and score goals.
I just don't think that's... I don't want to say it's ever going to happen again. But what are the chances that they're going to catch another Javinko?
And realistically, who wants to come here?
That's what I mean. That's all boiled together. Icardi is never coming here. You could throw Icardi 25 million a year. He is not coming here at this point in his career.
No. But Jovinko came here when he was 27, 28.
That's what I mean. When are you catching another player with that quality who instantly becomes the best player in the league, in the MLS game? I think it's extremely difficult.
Look, Atlanta just got
Pogba's brother.
Who? No. No. They just signed the guy from River Plate. He was the leading scorer in the Copa Libertadores. They can attract players want to come to MLS.
But do they want to come to Toronto?
Well, I mean
would
you rather go to Atlanta? I'm pretty sure Toronto is a better sell than Atlanta.
They have a big name coach that could sell.
That stadium, they just won. There's a lot of things going that way.
Yeah,
Toronto isn't what Toronto was 2 years ago.
America?
Taxes?
Yeah.
Why do you think Nani went to Orlando? You pay less taxes in Florida.
Does Atlanta have snow?
Look, why didn't they attract Nani? Because Orlando is probably a nicer place to play.
But I don't think that's the player TFC are going after.
But at this point, I think they would have took the name.
Yeah.
No, but I think if you take Nani,
just to make fans happy.
No, but I think you take a big step backwards if you go with him.
Better than having nobody. Better than having a Josie who might not play how many games.
Nani's probably better than all the players on TFC right now.
He's definitely better than every single player on TFC
by a considerable distance.
Yes.
So that's my point. It's just I get what you're saying, and I get that the owners need to be a bit more proactive, but I'm looking at it from their side where it's like perhaps those players don't want to come here.
Not only
perhaps the money doesn't matter. Perhaps
that, and what is TFC selling you?
Oh, that's okay.
What's in that team that's selling you?
We have to remember that Jovinko was in a position where who wanted him? Like what big club wanted him, and what smaller club was willing to pay him as much as TFC paid him? Because I really think that money is a big factor.
Oh, let's not
in his decision making.
Let's not joke. That was the reason why he came here.
Yeah, he's a money guy.
Yes,
money tracks him.
Of course, he's not in Saudi Arabia for the pandas and the sand dunes.
Can we call him a mercenary?
You can call him whatever you like.
Yeah, you can call him a multimillionaire. You can call him whatever.
because a lot of people get slagged for that in Europe.
Well, I think it played well for him because there was an Italian community here.
Yes.
It was an easier way for him to transition.
Dude, that community don't mean shit. Use him at Yorkville.
But it helps. He could go to Cafe Diplomatico or whatever that place is called.
That Italian community didn't mean nothing to him.
Because he probably didn't even know it existed here.
The bag.
But they also sold him on the fact that Josie's 2 years younger.
Yes.
Bradley's younger.
Yes.
You can't sell those two anymore.
That's what I mean.
I watched Michael Bradley for...
We're 3 years on now.
I don't want to come at me.
That's what I mean, that the Toronto FC, the sell isn't as easy.
Yes.
Why do you think Tim left?
Yeah. He knew the writing was on the wall.
It was probably hard as shit for him to try to get Jovinko. He's like, okay, Jovinko's gone. I might as well leave before this place implodes.
Yeah.
That's why I don't give Ali Curtis too much of a slack, because he's been here for what, a month and a half? 2 months? Not even?
He walked into this fire.
That's what I mean.
To a degree.
So to pinpoint him I think is unfair.
Oh, I'm not saying it's on him. I'm just saying he's here now. He's got to make some moves.
I just don't think it's as easy as people think.
It's not. It's not, because
okay, go find a top talent somewhere in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult. Yeah. A lot of these players are few and far and in between.
And this top player, sorry to cut you off, this top player that they get, it has to shape the direction of the club for the next few years.
Yep.
So it has to be the right move.
Yes.
Like this next player, it can't be like a Jermaine Defoe.
No.
Because then you take a few steps back.
But that's what I'm saying.
So the next player that they get, it has to be the right player. So
that's why I don't think Nani was that player.
But when I get to that, shouldn't fans want them to? I know it's going to suck for a few months, but shouldn't fans want them to really take their time to identify that player that they're going to build a franchise around? Because they can't. Because we know they can't build it around Josie. We know they can't build it around Michael, and none of these. I don't want to call them losers yet, but none of these TFC fans are going to come out here and tell me that they're going to build it around Jonathan or Markey.
No.
Did Markey play?
Yeah. He ran around. He did a good job.
Okay.
He did a good running.
Because I felt like I didn't see much of him.
Oh, he was the little guy running.
Yo, Markey's going to smoke both of you when he sees you on the streets. I know he must live somewhere around here. You guys wait.
He's the guy upstairs.
You guys wait. I'm not saying shit about him. He looks like he'll give you the hand. Oh, yeah. I'll speak about Ozo because I know he ain't doing shit.
Well, just for that.
No, to answer your question, I don't give him a pass because you need to identify that player not now. You needed to identify that player in October, November, when you know that Gio is leaving, or there's no chance for you to sign Gio, and Vasquez is leaving. You know that that's happening. Don't tell me that it's a surprise. That's what I'm saying. Don't tell me that you don't know that those guys are leaving.
But when did Gio make up that decision that he was leaving? When did he decide that he was going?
I bet you he decided in October when you give him a shit offer.
And then that goes back to my point here. Victor was never getting any bag.
But
Nor did he deserve one.
But he asked for a transfer, and you granted him the transfer without having anybody ready to replace him.
Well, he wasn't playing anyway, so. No, but I get what you're saying.
I think that the issues lie a lot deeper than that. Like, if Siman is going to be the guy who's going to fix the issues at the back, like, you just went from Drew Moore to Siman.
Yeah.
Like, there is little to no upgrade in that. You're hoping for Oro to have a better season. Ashton is what Ashton is.
Yeah. There's no up. There's no up.
No.
Like,
no.
There's no ceiling.
Morrow is not getting any younger.
There's just so many parts in it that I think they've been holding on to for way too long.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is that as TFC fans, whatever you guys want to call yourselves nowadays, you have to look at it as, and I think Fabs hit the nail, is that you had your 2-year window in this league. On average, how long is the window for a top MLS side? I'd say 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Roughly. You had your 2-year window. And you want to know what? It was great. And you should have won 2 MLS Cup titles.
And they should have won a Champions League.
Yeah.
Marky Delgado, come on.
Yeah.
Any true professional hits that half volley.
Yo, he's gonna smoke you.
Yeah, I don't care.
He should smoke the guys at TSN for putting that nice
montage
right in the intro.
Yeah.
Thanks for. Why did they go all the way back and relive that?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they went 1 for 3. Okay.
Yep.
And they made 2 finals.
Yep.
That's your window.
Yep.
Now
3 finals if you consider the.
And that's an impressive window.
Yeah.
And knowing that you should have won all 3, impressive. It sucks, but it's impressive. But now you, as a fan base, need to be real and look at it as like, okay, we had this window. Players got old. We did kind of a shitty job of sustaining a balanced squad, and now we have to start from scratch, or not from scratch, but now we have to start at a point where we're not where we think that we should be, and move forward accordingly, and give that management and Ali and them time to identify how they want to do it. I can't rush them from October to February to be like, okay, well, we know what we want. As a fan, I think that you should want them to be patient so that they make the right move. If they're patient, let's say this drags out and they make the wrong move, you have every right to kill them. But if they're being patient and they get it right, then you're going to, later down the road, you're going to say it was worth the wait. But I think the window, they hit the window. Now we know what they are. Everyone should know what they are. But you don't turn now.
But I think
Don't turn.
and I've
Don't
heard,
jump off.
I've heard other pundits say this.
Ooh, oh.
No, I'm not going to mention the names.
There aren't many pundits here
Yeah.
covering TFC.
I know.
Oh, okay.
And they've said,
Why are we saying the name?
okay, I don't care. I'll call them out.
No, you don't.
No, I'll say it now.
Okay.
Christian Jack said that Ali Curtis is asking for a little bit of patience from the fan base.
Yeah, and I think as the fans,
Okay.
I think as the fans,
When you see a result like that one in Panama, I think you're getting less and less patience from that TFC fan base.
it was one result.
I know, but it was it was
It was
as and I'll quote him as the most embarrassing loss in TFC franchise history.
I think that's living in the moment.
You think so?
Yes,
That's a little rough.
that's living in the moment.
I can't think of a.
That's worse than that final day.
Was it New York?
That final day in New
They
York?
could have made the playoffs and they didn't.
They got pumped 5-0.
Yeah.
Or
Or what about that time the Voyagers Cup?
Yeah,
Where they won 2-0 in the first one and lost like 6 or 5-0 in the second leg?
No, they came back and won.
No, wasn't there was something on the flip side like that where they won 2-0 in the first leg, then lost 4 or 5-0 in the second leg?
okay, I don't know about that
I've
one.
seen somebody mention it somewhere.
I just know. I just know the one that you mentioned is.
Yeah, that drubbing in New York. But you know what? At least you lose against an MLS. It's not great. It's not great. I'll give you that. But this was a hammering against that Panamanian side that has a 40-year-old in the midfield. I'm sorry, but
it's just that I know what they are. I know what they are. I know it's their first game. I can't say all of that. I agree with the point that he needs patience. The fans need to give him patience. That's what I gotta say. And I think if you're gonna already start putting down the hammer after one game, that's a bit over the top. Don't be like the Chelsea fan base.
So how long?
But and then I like that you went at Vanny.
Why? But I think
because you gotta at some point we gotta really talk about him too. We don't gotta do it today.
No,
but at some point we're gonna talk about him.
Yes. Look, I know that we slag some coaches and the players and whatnot, but look, for me, that game, know, as a what is it? Go ahead.
2013 TFC took a 2-0 first leg lead in the Voyagers Cup semis and proceeded to lose 6-0 at Stade Saputo.
Oh,
shout out to Rudy.
Oh, good.
I read his thread and he was saying exactly what I was saying. 2012 TFC lost the first 9 games of the season. Like, you don't think there's been lower points than this? It was absolutely. They didn't show up.
Yeah.
But they don't have the team to show up.
Not in your first game of the season. You look at it as a whole. It's bad.
What I'm saying.
Are they that bad? I don't think they're that bad.
What I'm just saying is that and this is why I put it on Vanny. As a coach, and he's supposed to be one of the better coaches in MLS. As a coach, you see that game getting away from you.
But can you imagine if he goes and plays defensive there? What the fans say?
At least you come back home with a chance
I still don't
to turn
think
that around.
I still don't think the fans are happy.
But
if you go there and 0-0 and he's playing a 5 at the back, I still think fans are going nuts.
They are going nuts. Absolutely, they are. But
so he
comes back home with a chance to advance in that next leg.
But here's my thing, and I think this is the biggest thing here, is that even if he does that, that doesn't change. That masks kind of the issue here.
What you're saying is that inevitably something like this,
if
it wasn't the first game, it might be the 6th, it might be the 9th.
Is going to happen.
But would you rather it happen in a league game, or would you rather it happen in a cup competition?
Well, they're not going to win the cup, so I don't understand why fans think that it really matters.
I think there was, based on what happened last season, I think too much emphasis was put on this cup. They're playing it as the redemption.
Yeah.
This is our chance again. But if you just
They don't have the team for that.
Exactly.
Which is why this is a bit over the top.
As a city, as a fan base, you got to roll back the expectations.
Yes.
And
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm not saying that they expect or any half-brained TFC fan.
I don't know. TFC Live is expecting them to do well in the Champions League and expecting them to make the playoffs.
Okay, but any realistic TFC fan.
But you have to understand, it's not what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the diehards that flew to Panama.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
y'all are losers. Y'all are losers.
Take those guys out. What I'm saying is that I'm putting this on Vanny because as a coach, you've got to understand and you've got to get your tactics right. I understand you can't bunker down against a Panamanian team, but you know what? Maybe you needed to. Maybe you needed to because it's your first game of the season and it's their fifth, and you've got to go there and you've got to bunker down and you've got to come out with a 0-0 tie to give you a chance in that second leg. You want to go as far as you can in a competition. That's the name of the game. Get as far as you can. Schalke's not saying like, oh well, we don't have a chance to win the Champions League. Fuck it. Like, well. Like, let's all go guns a blazing. No.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, and look where they are.
They tried.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that number 22 kid was nice. That kid smoked every single TFC defender.
Yeah.
At every opportunity he had.
Yeah. I get your point as where you're trying to go with that, and that's fair and that's cool. And
you're not having it.
No, you could. I understand why you could say that, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the long term, and it's like at the end of the day, they have issues that I need to address.
Yes.
And to me personally, them going there and losing 2-0 or losing 4-0 and then still not coming back is still loss. And I feel like he still would have got the smoke.
Twitter comments are the best. Toronto FC got smoked by a team that made their crest on MS Paint. Oh my goodness. Twitter is undefeated.
But that's my thing. I understand why the fans could be upset because yes, he should have managed it properly. Yes, I agree with that. But at the end of the day,
that's my that's where I'm coming from. That you as Vanny have to manage that game better.
Vanny's going with a knife to a gunfight right now.
Yeah.
So I won't give him too much.
Sometimes you need a wake-up call. Wake-up calls are good.
Mm-hmm. He got a startling one. Yeah. And I think, to your point, is if you want to mask this situation, the ultimate mask would be if TFC turns this around in the second leg. If some miracle happens and the Panamanian guys become icicles.
Don't show up.
I hope that happens because then I want to see what y'all are going to say. Anyhow, at the end of the day, the biggest thing here is that Pogba ain't shit. Pogba ain't shit, man. Pogba ain't shit. Sorry, TFC fans. We're going to get back. They play next week?
Yep, Tuesday.
Okay, we'll talk about them.
All I'm saying is that if this is what's supposed to entice me to watch the MLS, then it's not doing such a great job.
Yeah. We'll get back into them next week. Okay? Is that fair?
That's fair.
We'll give them a chance to redeem themselves at BMO, and then I want to see what everyone's saying. Until then.
So if they score 5 goals on Tuesday, we're going to have an emergency Thursday podcast?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we are. And I'm going to love it.
We should do it on Tuesday night live in the midst of TFC Live.
Oh, no. I'm going to be I'm at co-ed.
Damn it! I thought we were gonna get through a whole episode with him without him saying co-ed.
Sorry, I've given up on TFC. I'm going co-ed instead.
And he's out here complaining.
Yeah.
Get out of here,
fickle fan.
Get out of here.
You're fickle.
Get out of here. You and all those patch boys or whatever they want to call themselves, local whatever. I don't care. Anyhow, with that being said, we've gone way over time.
Way over time.
Fab's gonna kill you.
Sorry.
Anyhow,
my bad.
You guys have anything else to say?
I definitely do not.
No,
have
I've got nothing else.
The InnerViews Podcast, episode 60. If you enjoyed what we talked about and love the best soccer/footy podcast in the world that it provides you with organic, unfiltered soccer/footy analysis, you can find us on iTunes, on your Android device, and whatever Android apps you use, Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. We do upload videos on YouTube, youtube.com/theinnerviews. You can also find us on facebook.com/theinnerviews, where you can like and follow and like. We also upload videos there as well. Twitter, where you could engage with me and I'll retweet them so that you could kill them for the stupidity that they shared on today's podcast, because I keep it real. That's the InnerViews. That's twitter.com/InnerviewsTV, and on Instagram, where we're going to start posting more frequently after this busy week. The handle is the InnerViews TV. We post swaggy pictures and some cool videos where we kind of show what this podcast is really all about. And with that being said, Pabs is going to kill everyone here because this podcast has gone way too long. And if no one else has anything to say, it's your guy Tyrrell.
It's Fab.
Dan.
And we are out.